Imagine this. You wake up in a completely upside-down world. Here, women run the show. They're strong, bold, and take charge. Meanwhile, men, they're soft, submissive, and barely have a voice. You, freshly dropped into this chaos, still processing what's happening, the goddess who brought you here smirks and says, "Wanna go back to Earth? Prove you're a real man with some guts." Sounds simple. Nope, not in this world. Here, guys just sit around waiting for girls to make the first move, and the girls, oh bo, they're confident, relentless, and they've got you in their sights. Your charm, it's a problem. Things spiral out of control real fast. At school, every girl is chasing you like it's Black Friday. At home, your stepsis is dragging you into questionable paid content projects. Taking a walk, some thug girls block the road, ready to rob you of everything, including your dignity. Job hunting, that 6'5" CEO. Yeah, she's got one goal: slam you into the ground and make you her plaything. You've got no choice. It's time to flip the script. Show them that men can rise to the top. Make these self-assured, unstoppable women kneel before you. But here's the kicker: if you fail, this world changes you. You'll slowly become soft, weak, maybe even feminine, and eventually, you'll lose all power to resist. This is a race against time and your own will. You'll need to step up, unleash your inner charisma, and become the ultimate master of the game in this insane, upside-down world. Fail? Well, then you're just a pawn in their hands, forever doomed to be toyed with. Our main character here, his name's Hao. Just last night, he was a regular 9-to-9 office drone, living the soul-sucking corporate life. On his way home from yet another brutal overtime shift, Hao looked up, and there it was, a red moon, glowing ominously in the night sky. Next second, bam, out cold. When Hao woke up, well, let's just say it wasn't pretty. He had bunny ears on his head, a pink pajama set, and, yep, a full-on pink bunny girl outfit. What the? I'm a grown man. How am I supposed to handle this? Before Hao could even finish spiraling, his dad's voice rang out. Aren't you going shopping with your bestie Lon today? Why aren't you up yet? And seriously, you're a beau. Can't you learn to do your makeup and take care of your skin? Take some notes from Lon, will ya? Hao's brain went blank. Makeup, shopping. Me. Is he crazy, or am I losing it here? Then came the kicker. Lon called. I'm already at your front door. Dude, hurry up. That's when it hit Hao. Lon. The same Lon with tattoos of a dragon on one arm and a tiger on the other. The epitome of a macho tough guy. But when Hao opened the door, standing there wasn't a hardcore thug. It was a pretty beau. Hao blinked, dumbfounded. Lon, where are you hiding? Lon's face turned purple with rage. Turns out this overly dressed princess was Lon, yeah, that same dragon tiger covered tough guy. Hao couldn't believe it, but his dad just gushed, look at Lon. Knows how to dress and take care of himself, you should learn from him. And just like that, Hao realized, in this world, everything's upside down. Here, men are naturally weak, meant to stay home and care for kids. Women, smarter, stronger, and ruling the world. Even the emperors and war generals of history. All women now. Qin Shi Huan, yep, she's a queen. Because of this, men became a precious rarity, which meant whenever Hao stepped out of the house, he was instantly swarmed by female hooligans, teasing him left and right. What a nightmare. So there I was, walking down the street with Lon, who had my arm hooked like we were some couple in a rom-com. He was excitedly planning our day. We'll get some face masks, do our nails, oh, and grab some pepper spray. Those female hooligans are getting out of hand lately. Face masks, nails, pepper spray. Why don't you just stab me with a knife and call it a day, Lon? At that moment, I missed my old world desperately. So, to prove my manhood, I dragged Lon into a tattoo parlor. I stormed in, chest puffed, and declared to the tattoo artist, give me a dragon on my head, no, scratch that, across my entire back. Today, I yelled, I'll show these ladies what a real man looks like. The tattoo artist, she just raised an eyebrow and said, tattoo for a beau like you? No way. The female customers nearby burst into laughter. Where did this goody-goody beau come from? That was it, my pride couldn't take the hit. So, I ripped off my shirt, muscles on full display, and shouted, take a good look. Ladies, I'm all man. The room froze. The tattoo artist and the girls, nosebleeds on the spot. Apparently, my bold move was too much. Still, my dragon tiger phoenix tattoo dreams went down the drain. Long and we got kicked out. By the time I got home, I was wiped out. But then, sitting right there on the couch, was a goddess black stockings long legs. For a second, I thought I'd walked into the wrong house. Nope, that's when it hit me. Dad remarried in this world. The two women sitting there, my new stepmother Yan, and my stepsister Chien Chin. Oh, and we'd all be moving in together soon. Great. Exhausted, I collapsed onto my bed, Long turning into a prissy beau, Dad acting all soft. Is this my fate? Am I gonna become one of them? A house husband, raising kids and getting monthly cramps, nitrogen monoxide way. I shouted, hurling the teddy bear in my hand across the room. It bounced right back, standing at the door, Chin Chin. Before I could ask her what she wanted, she was already pinning me down on the bed. What happened next? Let's just say it's too intense for me to share. At one point, she looked at me and said, "Your face is so red, are you sick?" Me. I just grinned like an idiot. Nope, I've never felt better, honestly. Maybe this world isn't so bad after all. Sure, here men get monthly cramps and end up raising kids, while women rule the world with their insane strength and power. Even the ancient emperors and war generals, all women now. Yeah, even Qin Shi Huan is a queen in this universe. With my brain overloaded, I passed out, exhausted. But just then, a shadow appeared outside my window, calling my name. I cracked open one eye, groaning, who the heck is yelling at this hour? Can a guy catch a break? When I looked up, I froze. Sitting on the edge of my bed was a red-haired beauty. She stared at me, like, straight into my soul. Poof, my sleepiness, gone instantly. I grabbed my blanket and wrapped it around myself like armor. What the hell? Did some female hooligan sneak into my house? This world is terrifying. But then she asked, "Don't you recognize me? I'm the one who brought you to this world." I blinked, squinting at her weight. "The Red Moon, that was you, wasn't it?" I snapped, "Who are you? Why'd you bring me to this crazy, female-dominated world?" She grinned, like she was enjoying this too much. "You can call me the goddess of the blood moon. As for why I brought you here, simple, to grant your wish." Wish? What wish? You complained about not having a girlfriend, right? About still being a virgin. Well, in this world, women adore you, isn't it perfect? Perfect. I lost it. What's perfect about this? There's not a single normal person here. Send me back. Now. The blood moon goddess didn't even flinch. She just stared me down and said, "Oh, you can go back, but not so easily." "What do I have to do?" I asked, desperate to escape. "Tell me. I'll do anything." She smirked back. "In your old world, you always bragged about being a real man, didn't you? You mocked soft bows and swore that true men drink protein shakes, lift weights, and open bottle caps with their bare hands. True men should pilot giant robots and hang out with tough guys like Lon, right?" I nodded, heart pounding. "So what?" "So," she continued, "your task is simple. Become a true man in this female-dominated world. Do that, and you'll unlock the way back to your world." "And if I fail?" I asked, already dreading the answer. She leaned in, voice low and chilling. "Then you'll be assimilated. You'll become soft, feminine, and end up married off, raising kids at home." I went pale. Assimilated, married off, me. No way. Absolutely not. Before I could argue, she smirked one last time and disappeared in a wisp of smoke. "Hey. Wait. You didn't tell me how to complete the task." I yelled into the empty room. Too late, she was gone. And I was left alone, blankets still wrapped around me, with no clue how to survive this nightmare world. The next morning, I woke up, still half convinced last night was just a bizarre dream. But then I turned my head and saw it. A red scarf lying on the bed. Oh crap, it wasn't a dream. As I brushed my teeth, I kept thinking, how the heck do I even become a real man? Who makes the rules here? Am I supposed to just know? I mean, let's be honest, at this point, I'm starting to act a bit delicate. After breakfast, I went back to my room, threw on my school uniform, and got ready. It was my first day going to school in this upside-down world, and surprisingly, I was a little excited. But the second I stepped out of my room, I saw Yan, my stepmom, shamelessly flirting with my dad. Yeah, still not used to that too much from my eyes this early. Soon, I headed out with Lon to school. On the way, Lon, the macho guy, pouted like a teenager and asked, "How do you think this new lipstick suits me?" I shoved him aside. Dude, seriously, we're in public, pull yourself together. Lon actually looked like he was about to cry, muttering something about me being mean. I stared at him, completely speechless. Where did the tough guy Lon go? The one with biceps bigger than my head. That's when I decided, enough is enough. Lon, listen up, I've got a new dream. I want to become a manly man, let's do it together. Lon gasped like I dropped a bombshell. How? You can't do that. If you become a manly man, you'll never get married. Married? I froze. Why is that word being thrown around me? Just then, Lon clung to my arm, panic in his voice. There's a pervert staring at us. I looked up and saw a chubby, creepy woman hiding behind a pillar, eyes practically glowing. But me, I wasn't fazed. Come on. Lon, we're two grown men, what's she gonna do? If she tries anything, I'll kick her into next week. Lon immediately shut me down. You kick? You can't even lift a brick. How? Stop talking nonsense. Before I could protest, he dragged me down another street, completely ignoring my heroic speech. We eventually made it to school, and let me tell you, this was no ordinary place. Turns out my family's pretty loaded. This was a fancy private school. In the classroom, I spotted a guy struggling to open a water bottle. What did he do? He handed it to a girl for help. I facepalmed. Are you kidding me? You're a grown man, can't even open a bottle cap. Fueled by righteous anger, I charged over, snatched the bottle, and declared, "Step aside, let me show you how it's done." I gripped the cap and turned. 5 out of 10 strength. Nothing. I cranked it up to 7. Still nothing. Sweat was dripping down my face. It's gotta be the angle, I told myself. Desperate, I went full Super Saiyan mode, yelling, "Open, you stupid bottle." My hand turned red. My face turned red. But the bottle cap didn't budge. Then the girl took it, gave it a gentle twist, and pop! I stood there, stunned, and if that wasn't bad enough, I found out guys who even go to the bathroom in groups. Imagine 2 dudes lining up to pee together. The thought alone gave me chills. Nope, not happening. I bolted out of there as fast as I could. On my way downstairs, I got absolutely swarmed by girls. They were whispering things like, "Look at those long legs, that slim waist, and wow, such a perky butt." Hearing this, even a pure-blooded man like me turned beet red. Seriously, being a guy in this world means you gotta watch your back. Maybe it's time I learn some self-defense and hit the gym. I pulled out my phone and started searching for ways to toughen up. Muay Thai. Looks promising, I'll check it out later. But just as I was fully focused, a voice startled me out of my skin. How? My dear Bogod, what are you up to? I nearly dropped my phone. Yuan. Do you want me to die? Walk louder next time. My long-legged desk mate sighed dramatically. You're just too focused to notice me. What were you doing? Texting some other girl. With that, she started leaning in closer. I panicked, shoving her back as my face turned crimson. Personal space. Yuan. Boys and girls shouldn't be this close. Seeing me flustered, she got even more excited. Closing the distance, I yanked my hand back, muttering to myself, how are girls in this world so aggressive? To make things worse, Yuan assumed I looked tired because I hadn't slept well. Don't worry, I've got a family secret massage technique, let me help you relax. No thanks, I blurted, my face practically on fire. Thankfully, the school bell rang right on time, saving me from whatever weirdness was about to happen. Girls in this world, absolutely terrifying. During class, I opened the textbooks and surprise, I could read everything perfectly. Now, for context, back in my old world, I was a certified slacker. But here, I'm a freaking genius. Feeling smug, I sat up straight and stared at the teacher, silently begging him to ask me a question. Call me, sir, let me show off. The teacher did call on me. But instead, she asked, how? Are you feeling unwell? Do you need to go to the nurse's office? I froze, completely speechless. Finally, class ended. I grabbed Lon and headed to the cafeteria. But nope, my suffering wasn't over. Before I even made it out the door, some random girl thud grabbed me inappropriately. Then, on the stairs, some guy faked an accident, whining. How? You bumped into me. You'll have to take responsibility. You know, outside the building, a pretty girl approached me, smiling. How? Did my basketball shot earlier was cool? Did it hit your heart too? What the heck is this nonsense? All I wanted was lunch, and instead, it felt like I'd walked into a den of wolves, and it didn't stop there. The school's top academic girl stopped me dead in my tracks. Right there, in front of everyone, she said. How? I've liked you for a long time, please go out with me. Isn't this how guys are supposed to confess to girls? This world's women are way too bold. I'm sorry, I stammered, I'm focusing on my studies right now, I can't date anyone. And with that, I walked away, leaving her stunned and heartbroken. Lon, oh, he was practically glowing with admiration. How? You're so cool. Me, I just sigh. What is my life anymore? So long, and I finally made it to the school cafeteria. The first thing I noticed, all the guys here eat like birds, tiny portions of food that barely fill a plate. What's with these appetites? I asked. Lon shrugged, that's just how it is, if you eat too much, you'll get chubby. Then he went and ordered 2 plates of vegetables, small portions, no rice. Are you kidding me? That's barely enough to keep a hamster alive, I mutter. No wonder guys here are so weak. When it was my turn, I didn't hold back. Auntie, give me the biggest portion of braised pork, and the biggest serving of rice too. A real man needs me, and eats big, I declared proudly. Lon looked like he was about to faint. How? You'll get fat, he wailed. Fat? Please, men need to eat to grow stronger, I shot back. Just then, a mocking voice chimed in. How? Why are you eating so much? Only construction workers eat like that. I turned to see a smug green tea boy looking at me, clearly pleased with himself. That ticked me off. Excuse me? You've got no right to look down on construction workers. Without them building our cities, you wouldn't have your cushy little life. Before I knew it, the guy started crying like I was the villain here. The girls around us started whispering, how so me? He's ruining his nice guy image. I turned to see the green tea boy smirking like he'd won. But suddenly, a confident voice cut through the noise. How can he eat whatever he wants sense, and is it a crime for guys to eat more food? It was a girl. She walked right up, dropped her braised pork onto my tray, and glared at the green tea boy. That's called bias and discrimination, she said firmly. The green tea boy looked like steam was coming out of his ears. I grinned, leaned in, and said, if you've got something to say, spit it out, if not, scram. Humiliated, he stormed off. Lon whispered to me, that's Zhao Yin from class, for the captain of the basketball team. She's been chasing after you for ages, man. Being this good looking really is a curse, I muttered, shoveling food into my mouth. I gave Zhao Yin a half-hearted thanks and left her standing there, looking a little heartbroken. Back in the classroom, I couldn't help but think, there's no top male players in League of Legends here. Does that mean all the greats like Marin, Uzi, and the others are stuck playing fashion dress-up games now? I need to check out the gaming scene in this world. Suddenly, I spotted someone who completely stood out from the nosy crowd. A girl, isolated and quiet, sitting at her desk. Who's that? I asked Lon, who was sneakily taking a photo with his phone. Her name's Yue, Lon whispered. She's a transfer student, doesn't talk much, so she doesn't have any friends. I raised an eyebrow and turned to Lon. You're interested? Huh, if you like her, man up and talk to her. Don't just sit here acting all shy. Before Lon could panic further, I grabbed his arm and dragged him straight over to Yu's desk. I smiled confidently and introduced myself. Hey, I'm Hao, and this guy here is Lon. Yue barely glanced up, responding with a quiet hum. She answered every question with one word, interesting. For the first time in this world, I met a girl who wasn't drooling over me. Oh, Yue, I thought to myself, you've successfully caught my attention. I extended my hand with a grin. How about we be friends? If you're ever bored, hit me up for a chat. Just then, Yuan appeared out of nowhere behind me. How? What are you doing with the transfer student? You too close or something? Seeing Yuan, an idea popped into my head. Why not introduce her to Yue? Yuan's a chatterbox and a social butterfly. Yue, the complete opposite, a walking social brick wall, the perfect match. I immediately played matchmaker, shoving Yuan toward Yue. At first, Yuan looked hesitant, but after I hit her with my deadly eye glare, she caved instantly. I patted her shoulder like a proud dad. Have fun chatting with your new friend. With that done, I went back to nap priorities, you know. The next day, I stood outside a barber shop, ready to transform. After all, a real man needs a proper short haircut. As soon as I walked in, a beautiful stylist greeted me. Wow, so handsome, let me find our best stylist for you. No need. I waved her off, just trim it casually. Then in came the stylist, flower pattern shirt, shades on his head. What kind of cut are we thinking today? He asked. Does cut short like prison inmate short make it ugly? I don't care. The stylist froze. He looked at me like he was deciphering ancient wisdom. Then he snapped his fingers. Got it. Handsome men always say the opposite. You want it good looking, I'll make you shine. 2 hours later, I stared at the mirror, speechless. Well, damn, no wonder I'm me. Can't even look bad if I try. Back home, though, my new haircut clashed horribly with my pink, frilly wardrobe. Okay, that's it, I muttered, yanking open the closet. These clothes have got to go. Gimme a trash bag. But before I could act, Dad saw me. He gasped so hard he nearly coughed up blood. A beau with short hair. What were you thinking? Before I knew it, Dad grabbed his shoes and yelled, I'm taking you back to that barber. You think I'll let this slide? It was too hot. Okay, I stammered. Dad trembled in rage. You want to kill me, don't you? How are you supposed to get married now? Sensing danger, I bolted for the door, only to slam face first into Chien Chin, my stepsister, who'd just come home. She caught me and blinked. How? This actually looks pretty good on you, Dad. Calm down, I'll talk to him later. Hearing that, Dad finally put down his weapon, a shoe, and stomped off. Wow, I muttered, rubbing my head. Who knew Dad could actually be manly when he's mad? If anyone calls him a softie, I'll throw hands. Turning to Chien Chin, I sigh. Thanks, you really saved me there. But then she smirked. Come to my room. Hal, I've got something for you. Her room. I followed her in. And oh boy, it looked like a hardcore otaku's man cave. Posters, figurines, the whole setup. She opened a box and handed me something. What do you think? Like it? Turns out it was a gift. A very expensive looking gift. Oh, I can't accept this, I stammered. Chien Chin shoved it into my hands. If Hal likes it, I'll get you anything. Even the moon in the sky, I'll pull it down for you. I blinked. Wait, did I just get hit with a CEO and his shy little wife trope? What kind of backwards world am I living in? Back in my room, I took a closer look at Chien Chin's gift. It was real diamonds. Real diamonds. How much did this thing even cost? Nope, I can't accept this for nothing, I muttered. Gotta return the favor somehow. I grabbed my phone to figure something out. And then reality slapped me in the face. I had $2, too. What can you buy with $2? At that moment, Long messaged me. Turns out his cliché CEO falls for the runaway bride novel just caught sign. Yeah. You know the plot. He chases, she escapes, and surprise, he's inescapable. I sat there, dead silent. If Long can get a contract with that, maybe I should write a novel too. After all, I used to be a hardcore web novel addict back in my world. The only problem, should I write for the male audience? Or female? Suddenly, inspiration struck. Why not write about this crazy world? Title, The True Woman of a Male-Dominated World. Not even an hour later, my novel was signed. Just like that. What kind of express approval system is this? Well, whatever, now I could finally start earning some money to buy Chien Chin a proper gift. Turns out, in any world, money is king. Feeling proud of myself, I decided to celebrate by getting a $1 popsicle. Cheap and cheerful. But as I walked into the little convenience store, I froze. This place looked oddly familiar. Suddenly, a dusty memory came flooding back. Back in my old world, there was a day when I got bullied. Just when I thought I was done for, a girl stepped in front of me. Her name, May. She was tiny, sure, but in that moment, she looked 10 feet tall. I swear, my heart skipped a beat. So that's what first love feels like, huh? Later, I found out May was the daughter of Uncle Jin, my neighbor. And this convenience store. Yeah, Uncle Jin's place. What a coincidence. Back then, I thought, living this close, this must be fate. So naturally, I started helping out at their store, moving boxes, stocking shelves, anything to be near her. With my relentless pursuit, our relationship grew closer and closer. Eventually, I thought the time was right. I steeled my nerves, took a deep breath, and confessed my love to May. She stared at me for a second, then smiled. I've always thought of you as my little brother, she said. Besides, I like muscular guys, real men. You know, ouch, rejected. From that day on, I swore to become a macho man. Someone strong enough to protect me, someone like long biceps, protein shakes, the whole package. But things are different now. Back then, I had no money, no looks, basically nothing. Now, in this world, I'm a walking magnet. Girls can't resist me. So what's stopping me from confessing to May again? This time, I'll win. When I reached the store, I heard shouting inside. It was Uncle Jin arguing with May. You're always lazing around at home. Look at Lee's daughter, she's already earned 300,000 and married a good, obedient husband. May snapped back, irritated. 300,000? I'll go move some bricks and make that in no time. Hearing that, I froze. May moving bricks. And then I saw her, my first love. She peeked out from behind the door, and for a split second, she was exactly as I remembered. Soft, beautiful, and delicate, but the very next second, I stiffened completely. Standing in front of me was not the gentle beauty I remembered. Nope, this was a muscle-bound powerhouse. Her biceps looked like they could cause earthquakes. I fell flat on my butt, pointing a trembling finger at her. Don't come any closer. May tilted her head and stepped toward me, gently placing her hand on my shoulder. Crack, the chair underneath me exploded into splinters. I just sat there, stunned. What kind of super strength monster is this? When May reached out to help me up, I panicked. With a perfect backflip and a ninja-style kip-up, I bolted upright. Nope, I'm good. I made up a random excuse and turned to flee. May called after me, at least add me on WeChat before you go. Next time, I swear, I yelled over my shoulder, already sprinting away. Back home, I sat on the floor, trying to process everything. Even May, the soft and delicate May, has turned into a muscle queen. This world's rules are relentless, but before I could finish spiraling, something caught my eye. I turned and froze. Chin was upside down, her long legs resting against the curtains as she did yoga. Wait, girls here do yoga too. Got tired of the gym. Chin explained, figured I'd try bow workouts for a change. Bow workouts? Oh, come on, this world's gender roles are beyond messed up. Then Chin casually suggested, you should try yoga too, you're so scrawny. What if someone bullies you? My twitch, scrawny. Is that how she sees me? Fine. I shot back, grabbing her hand. If you're so confident, how about an arm wrestling match? Winner gets to ask the loser for a favor. Chin grinned. You're on. This wasn't just arm wrestling anymore. This was about my manly pride. The match began. Instantly, I felt a titanic force pressing against my hand. My whole body started trembling like a leaf. Meanwhile, Chin sat there, smiling calm, relaxed, completely unfazed. I gritted my teeth. No way, I can't lose. I survived endless overtime and ramen dinners in my old life. I'm not going down like this. I fought with everything I had. Snap. It was over. Chin effortlessly pinned my arm down. To make it worse, she even cushioned me with her hand to keep me from hurting myself, as if I were some fragile little flower. Ooh, fine, I lost. What do you want me to do? I grumbled. Chin smiled. I want to try a lap pillow. You don't mind, right? Lap pillow? I blinked. Isn't this supposed to be a punishment? Why does this sound like a reward? I didn't hesitate. Sure, no problem at all. Except, I misunderstood. Next thing I knew, Chin was lying down with her head on my lap. How? She murmured, can I stay like this for a while? I froze. But hey, what kind of real man says no to a request like that? Of course, I said, trying not to sound flustered. You can stay as long as you want. Just now, I was sitting at home, furiously typing away at my novel. Out of nowhere, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Yuan. She said she'd invited the transfer student Yue to the amusement park and asked if I wanted to come. Oh, and she'd already sent Lon to pick me up. Excuse me, when did I say yes? Right on cue, I heard Lon shouting outside my window. How? Open up. I opened the window, and there he was dragging along a little girl. Oh, Lon, who's the kid? Turns out, this was his little sister. Ling, she's 6 years old. Weird thing is, Lon didn't have a sister in my old world, so what's going on here? I invited them up to my room for a bit. I'm not really in the mood for an amusement park, I admitted. It's boring. Lon's face lit up. But Dave got a new haunted house. And didn't you say you wanted to help Yue with her social anxiety? At the mention of Yue, I caved. Fine, haunted house it is. I stood up to change clothes. After all, a real man keeps his word. Once I was ready, I struck a pose and had Ling Ling snap a couple of photos of me. Gotta look good. You know. Lon rolled his eyes. Can you two stop messing around? Women waiting for men is normal, but we shouldn't keep them waiting too long. An hour or two is enough. Let's just go. We finally arrived at the amusement park entrance. There was Yuan, rocking black stockings, and Yue in white stockings. Talk about contrast. Yuan noticed Ling Ling and asked, "Who's this little cutie?" Ling Ling clung to me and announced proudly, "I'm Hao brother's little sister." Lon immediately pulled her away. My sister heard we were going to a haunted house and wouldn't stop begging to come. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on her. Yuan turned to me, eyes lighting up as she saw my new haircut and outfit. Wow, how you're looking better and better these days. Here we go again. I swear, being this popular is exhausting. Even Yue, the girl with social anxiety, spoke up. You look really nice today. I blinked. Wait, Yue, you're talking. That's awesome. Praising her made her blush. But hey, it's progress. And so, our group marched toward the haunted house. Before we even stepped inside, Lon was already trembling like a leaf. Why don't we just ride the carousel or the Ferris wheel instead? He stammered. I stared at him, deadpan. Dude, are you serious? What happened to the macho man I used to know? Even Ling Ling gave Lon a look of pure disappointment. Yuan suggested splitting into two groups. How? You're with me, Yue, Long, and Ling Ling, you three go together. She turned to Yue and said seriously, make sure you protect the boys, that's our job as women. Ling Ling wasn't having it. I want to go with Hao brother, she whined. To settle things, I shuffled the groups. Ling Ling, you're with Lon, and Yuan, I'll go with Yue. Why? Simple. Being with Yuan practically guarantees she start grabbing my arm, or worse. Use quiet and reliable. Yuan pouted, visibly upset. I smirked and hit her with a challenge. What's wrong? Yuan, don't tell me you're scared. The moment I said that, she snapped, scared. Me? Never. She grabbed Lon and Ling Ling and marched straight into the haunted house like a warrior going into battle. What can I say? Simple-minded and easy to bait. 10 minutes later, Yue and I followed them in. Time to show everyone what real courage looks like. The moment we stepped into the haunted house, I could already hear Yuan screams echoing from somewhere up ahead. So much for her fearless act. I turned to Yue and asked, hey, you scared? If you are, just grab onto me. After all, real men never back down. Without hesitation, Yue grabbed the sleeve of my shirt. Not sure if she was actually scared or just taking my offer literally. As we moved forward, I crushed every challenge in my way. Creepy hands reaching out. I swatted them aside, skeletons jumping at me. I stared them down like a boss. The ghosts probably felt embarrassed at this point, but then I realized something. Yue, who had been following behind me, was suddenly gone. Oh no, did one of the ghosts kidnap her to be their haunted house bride? Panicking, I doubled back and started searching every corner. I even yanked open a ghost's cloak, earning a very offended look from the actor inside. Eventually, I heard Yu's voice coming from a cabinet. I opened it and found her curled up inside, hugging her knees. I got lost and was scared, so I hid here, she whispered. I blinked. Isn't this world's girls supposed to be fearless warriors? What's with the weakling act? I held out my hand, smiling. Come on. Let's get out of here. Yue looked so touched you'd think I'd saved her from a dragon. Once we made it outside, I found Long sitting on the ground, legs shaking like a jellyfish. Yuan looked at us suspiciously. You guys were in there for ages, what happened? I immediately read her mind and pulled Yue forward to explain. But Yue, she passed out on the spot. Long froze like a statue, while Yuan grabbed her phone. She fainted. I'll call an ambulance. Hold up. I stopped her, checking Yu's pulse and neck. She's just scared out of her mind. Nothing serious, let's lie her down. Long hesitated, looking conflicted. Should we do CPR? It's our first kiss, after all. Yuan's face turned pale. Absolutely not. House first kiss can't be wasted. Just pinch her philtrum or something. At this point, I couldn't handle these two clowns anymore. Go get some water and snacks, I'll handle this. Once they were gone, I carefully laid Yu's head on my lap, then I pinched and pressed her earlobes firm but gentle. A second later, Yu's eyes fluttered open. Thank you. Common sense from my old world. Seems like nobody here knows the basics. You okay? Does anything hurt? I asked. Yue grabbed my hand and mumbled, can I rest here a little longer? I like your lap pillow. Seriously, what is it with girls in this world and my knees? Not long after, the others returned. Is Yue okay? Yuan asked. Hearing that everything was fine, Yuan finally relaxed. So, should we keep exploring the amusement park? I rolled my eyes. Are you serious? After all this, I turned to Yue. Let's just take you home so you can rest. Yue nodded softly, then grabbed my hand and said, let's go together. Yuan stood there, completely stunned, while Ling Ling threw a tantrum. I want to hold Hao brother's hand too. With that, we all climbed into the car, leaving Yuan and Long in silent defeat. Not long after, the car rolled to a stop in front of a massive estate. Yuan stared at the place and, well, let's just say she couldn't help dropping a swear word. In front of us stood a European-style mansion straight out of a royal drama. A butler appeared out of nowhere, bowing politely. Miss Yue, you shouldn't sneak out to play, the master will not be pleased. We all froze. Wait. What? You's a rich heiress. Still in shock, we followed the butler inside, where we were seated in an absurdly fancy living room. He served us tea made with Tiantian spring water and cakes baked by a top-class chef. What kind of VIP treatment is this? Long muttered, still trying to process everything. The butler then escorted Yue upstairs to change clothes. As we sipped our tea like confused peasants, Yuan shook her head, while Yue, the quiet transfer student, was a hidden tycoon this whole time. Who would have guessed? Honestly, I couldn't believe it either. I'd just helped her out casually. And boom, plot twist. Moments later, Yue came back down. She was dressed in a stunning, elegant outfit. Every detail was perfect, but something was off. Her expression was blank, her eyes dull like a lifeless porcelain doll. Before I could say anything, Yue walked straight over, grabbed my hand, and said, I want to give you a gift. A gift? For what? Before I could protest, she dragged me upstairs. We stopped in front of her room. I stepped in and froze. The room was spotless bare except for a single giant bed. Hold up, women in this world are pretty manly, but this? A bed-only room, what kind of scene is this? I cleared my throat awkwardly and turned to Yue. Hey, you've been acting a little strange since we got here. Is something wrong? I glanced around. Also, where are your parents? I only see the butler and maids here. Yue paused, then whispered softly. My dad's always working, he's rarely home, and my mom. She's the mayor, she's even busier. She forced a smile. But the butler says, they both love me very much. Hearing that, I couldn't help but pat her head gently. If you ever feel lonely, come hang out with us, we're your friends now. For the first time, Yu's expression softened a little. She suddenly pulled me along again, this time to another room. It was a weapons room. You have a weapons room, I blurted. Yue picked up an AK-47, handed it to me, and said, here, I want you to have this. What? I nearly dropped the thing. Yue, I can't take this. My dad will kill me if I bring home an AK. Seeing me refuse, Yue looked visibly disappointed. The butler chimed in helpfully. Friends should exchange gifts, that's how you build lifelong friendships. Yue nodded earnestly. I want to be friends with you forever. I blinked, caught off guard, then smiled. You don't need to give me gifts for us to be friends. Friends are friends, no strings attached. Yu's face lit up, and the next thing I knew, she hugged me. Hey. Wait, friends don't just go hugging each other. I yelped, Are you sure you're not just using this as an excuse to feel me up? By evening, we finally said our goodbyes and left the mansion. See you later, Yue. As we walked away, I couldn't help but sigh. This world just keeps throwing me curveballs. Who knew helping one quiet girl would lead to this? On the way home, Long suddenly said, Yue looked really good in her outfit today. I think I need new clothes too. Hearing this, my eyes lit up. Finally, I could toss out my pink Barbie-style wardrobe. Long, let's go shopping tomorrow, I suggested. We're getting proper manly clothes this time. The next day, Long and I headed to the Central Mall. As I browsed, I realized, man, the money from my novel's already starting to disappear. Long spotted a pink shirt and gasped, "How, this looks perfect for you." I gave him the hardest no of my life, turned around, and grabbed a black hoodie. This is what real men wear. By lunchtime, we'd pretty much bought everything we needed. Long's stomach growled like an angry bear, so we stopped at a fast food joint. That's when it happened. A group of women nearby spotted us. "Oh my gosh, look at those two little cuties," one of them cooed. Then oh no, one of them started taking pictures. "I'm gonna post this online. Just saw the prettiest boys ever, wish I could marry them." I sat there, stunned. Do these women have no shame? Not long after, I got home and collapsed onto the sofa, completely unaware of what was happening online. Meanwhile, the photo of me and Long, it had already blown up. The internet was going crazy. The post climbed all the way to the 4th spot on the trending list. One user named Samsung stared at the photo, squinting. "Wait, this looks familiar. Where have I seen this guy before?" Then it hit him. Yesterday, Ling Ling had posted a photo on her social media of me. Back at home, my phone suddenly rang. It was Long. The second I picked up, he screamed like a dying man. "How? You're famous. You're a superstar." "What? Famous?" I muttered, completely confused. "Dude, someone posted your picture online. You're on the trending list. Women are going nuts over you." Long was practically hyperventilating. I stared at my phone, my jaw hanging open. "Wait. What? I mean, sure, I'm popular, but this is insane." I tried to calm myself. "It's fine, the internet forgets stuff in, like, 2 days, right? To distract myself, I decided to check out this world's streaming platforms. Big mistake. The first live stream I clicked on, Nightmare Fuel, I slammed the app shut immediately. What is wrong with the streams in this world? Thankfully, the gaming section looked normal, well, sort of. Apparently, all the game streamers here are women. The games themselves, same as my old world. Perfect if I need a hobby. Gaming will do. Just as I was deep in thought, Chin Chin came home. She crossed her arms and said, "How? You've been out for 1 day, and now you're a viral internet star." I scratched my head, embarrassed. "Wait, you heard about that too?" She frowned. "How? Nothing weird happened today, right? No creepy people harassing you?" I waved my hand dismissively. "Nah, it's fine. I can take care of myself." Bad move. Chin Kin's expression turned even more serious. "How? You're too naive. You have no idea how dangerous women can be in this world. If anything happens to you, how am I supposed to explain it to your dad?" She grabbed my shoulders and shook me for emphasis. "Promise me. How if any strange woman approaches you? Tell me right away." Turns out, my little shopping trip had turned into a nightmare. The viral photo, it made me the target of hordes of over-enthusiastic women. Now, even going to school felt like a survival game. Crazy fangirls lurked around every corner. At this rate, I might have to start hiding in trash cans just to get to class. Is this what life as a viral heartthrob feels like? I muttered, terrifying. Just then, Long called me. "How? Don't go to school today. That group of crazy women found out you're a student at Tsinghua, and now they're camped out at the school gate waiting for you." I sigh. "Long, they already intercepted me halfway. Do you think I'll survive if I show up today?" Lon suggested. "Dude, just take a day off and hide. There are probably fanatic girl thugs waiting inside the school too." Reluctantly, I agree. I messaged Chin Chin, asking her to help me call in sick. That way, if Dad found out, she could cover for me. Back home, I had nothing to do, so I figured I'd explore the idea of game streaming. Let's be real, live streaming probably pays way more than writing novels. I booted up my computer, and seeing the familiar gaming logo got me excited. In my old world, I was a king rank player. Here, I'm about to destroy everyone. The moment I entered the game, I noticed something bizarre. All the heroes I knew had turned into female versions, but the rules, still the same. I dove into a match and boom, first blood. A few slick plays later, I pulled off a pentakill. Damn, this feels good. I'm faster, sharper. Gaming talent never dies. After dinner that night, I snuck upstairs. Dad was downstairs, snuggled up with Yan while watching TV. Chin-eyed me suspiciously. What are you up to now? How? Ignoring her, I locked my door, sat down at my desk, and started my first ever live stream. At first, I was nervous, but as soon as I heard the familiar in-game sounds and voices, everything clicked. Let's do this. I unleashed my single 418 years hand speed and started dominating the match. Then came the drama. Some clueless player on the other team kept trying to 1v1 me and getting obliterated. Eventually, he accused me of cheating. On the other side of the internet, a retired pro gamer streamer known as Miss Fish was also playing. She told her viewers with full confidence, "That's 100% a cheater if he's not cheating." I leaped my monitor. Her chat blew up. "Miss Fish, go teach that hacker a lesson." Miss Fish smirked. "I can't tolerate cheaters. Time to put him in his place." Meanwhile, I was furious. "Cheating? Me? You're looking down on the wrong guy," I typed in the public chat. "If you don't believe me, let's 1v1 solo me." Cower. The chat exploded. Miss Fish accepted the challenge. Her viewers hyped to see me crushed. The match began. 5 minutes in, I took her down like it was nothing. Miss Fish went silent. Her viewers, not so much. "Wait a minute, he's streaming too," someone shouted. Suddenly, my live stream was swarmed by angry fans from her stream. "Cheater. You're just faking it. You're probably a girl pretending to be a guy." Hearing that, I turned on my mic. "Relax, people, I'm a guy, chill." The moment they heard my voice, the chat erupted. "Oh my god, his voice is amazing. No way, that's gotta be a voice changer." To prove I wasn't cheating, I turned on my camera and showed my hands live. The chat went insane. "Those hands, are you kidding me? They're beautiful. Brothers, we need a face reveal." Even Miss Fish, who had been so confident earlier, stared at the screen with her jaw hanging open. "Ow, those hands are pretty legit." Round 2 began. With thousands of people watching, I soloed Miss Fish again. By the end, she was too embarrassed to say anything, while my stream was flooded with fans begging, "How? Don't stop streaming. Play one more game." But I glanced at the clock. "Sorry, guys, my dad will kill me if he finds out I'm still awake." I ended the stream, teased tomorrow's broadcast time, and shut everything down. Looking at the clock, it was already 10 p.m. Better get some sleep tomorrow. I'll check with Long about the school situation. The next day, I met Long at a milk tea shop. "So, what's the status at school?" I asked. Long sipped his tea and shrugged. "Way fewer girls today. I think the hype's dying down." I sighed with relief. "Good, I'll wear a hat and sneak back in tomorrow." Long, however, couldn't hold back his curiosity. "What have you been doing the past 2 days?" "Spit it out." "I started streaming," I admitted. Long's eyes lit up. "You're streaming? How? You must be blowing up already. Bet you're raking in the cash. Keep it down," I hissed. "I haven't even signed with a platform yet." Just then, my phone buzzed. It was a message from the streaming platform. "Congratulations, your stream has met the popularity requirements for a partnership." Long practically jumped out of his chair. "See, I told you." "How? With your looks, you'll be the #1 streamer in no time." I rolled my eyes. "Becoming a full-time streamer would ruin my grades, plus my dad would kill me." Long scratched his head, then suggested, "Just wear a mask. You can stream without showing your face, sing a little, dance a little, boom. Easy money." "Are you serious? I'm a game streamer, not an idol," I said, exasperated. "Whatever, I'll figure it out later." With that, we finished our drinks and headed home. What I didn't know was, 2 suspicious women had been tailing us. It wasn't until we were near my house that I noticed someone was following us. To keep Long out of trouble, I patted him on the shoulder and said, "You go home first. I don't need you to walk me." Long didn't think much of it, waved goodbye, and left. The second he was gone, I turned around and said calmly, "You don't need to hide anymore. Come out." Out stepped a tall woman, surrounded by a group of thugs. The woman, clearly the boss, grinned and said, Well, what a treat. I didn't expect the little internet heartthrob to live in my territory. How about it, cutie? Let big sis take care of you. I'll give you whatever you want." I stared at her, unimpressed. "Who are you supposed to be?" One of her lackeys immediately barked, "Brat, you don't know Miss Liu. She runs everything for miles around here." I raised an eyebrow. "Sorry. Don't know her. If you've got something to say, spit it out. I don't have time for your nonsense." Hearing how cocky I was, one of the thugs stepped forward, yelling, You punk, you're looking to die. WHAM. Before he could finish, a fist slammed into his face. Miss Liu stepped in, holding back a laugh. Don't be so rough with my little cutie. I like men with attitude and you're just my type. She walked up to me, switching tactics. All right, let's drop the formalities. Be my boyfriend, I'll give you $10,000 a month in spending money. I nearly choked. That's just sugar mommy talk in disguise. If this were my old world, guys like Long would probably faint with joy at this offer. But not me, sorry, lady. I said flatly, I'm here to become a real man. If anything, I'd be the one taking care of you. I turned to leave, clearly done with this nonsense. Miss Liu's expression darkened. Is the price too low? Fine, I can raise it. She suddenly pulled out a dagger and held it up. But if that pretty face of yours gets ruined, I'll be very, very sad. I didn't flinch. Go ahead and try. That caught her off guard. Miss Liu froze, stunned clearly. No man had ever called her bluff before. Seizing the moment, I launched forward, knocking the dagger out of her hand with a clean punch. Thank you. Muay Thai training. I followed up with a strike to her chest, forcing her back. Miss Liu recovered quickly, cursing loudly. You little brat, you dare sucker punch me. I didn't let her finish. I swept a left roundhouse kick straight at her head. She blocked it at the last second, barely dodging what would have been a KO. Realizing this wasn't going anywhere, I grabbed the dagger from the ground and pointed it at her. I already called the cops. If you don't want trouble, back off. Miss Liu held up her hands, laughing playfully. Aw, you're not just handsome, you're smart, too. Fine, I'll stop for now. Her lackeys were furious. Miss Liu, are we just letting him go? Miss Liu smirked. Patience, boss, haven't I always taught you? You can't rush perfection. Good things come to those who wait. She winked at me. Isn't that right, cutie? I ignored her completely. I'm serious, stop following me, the call's still active. With that, I turned and walked away. As I left, I could feel her watching me. Miss Liu licked the back of her hand and grinned. Little pretty boat, I've got my eyes on you. What I didn't know was that one of her lackeys had taken a photo of me during the fight. Moments later, the photo was sent to someone very powerful, and that person, they'd already made up their mind. Find him, I want him. Meanwhile, in a luxurious office, a nervous secretary handed a phone to the CEO. Miss you. Someone spotted a rising star. The chairman wants us to sign him immediately. He's guaranteed to blow up. The CEO raised an eyebrow. Since when am I in charge of scouting talent? Isn't that someone else's job? The secretary wiped her sweaty forehead and stammered. The chairman insisted that you handle this personally. To ensure success, the CEO rolled her eyes. What's my mom up to now? Does she think the dozen pretty bows around her aren't enough? Is she finding me another stepdad or something? Still grumbling, she snatched the phone to see who it was. One look and her expression changed. Find out everything about him now. As the secretary scurried out, the CEO walked to the floor-to-ceiling window and murmured, Little pretty bow, you won't escape me. Back at school, I suddenly sneezed. Lon looked at me, concerned. How? Are you catching a cold? Stop playing basketball. That's a girl's sport now. We should just cheer for them. Girls' sport? You've got to be kidding me. I grabbed the ball and nailed a perfect three-pointer. Swish. The girls playing basketball turned into my personal cheerleading squad. On the sidelines, Fun the resident green tea beau gritted his teeth, seething with jealousy. How? That guy. He's always surrounded by girls. How can they not see what a shameless flirt he is? What I didn't notice was, someone was hiding nearby, taking pictures. I glanced around, sensing something, but saw nothing unusual. The girl behind the tree grinned as she looked at the photo on her phone. Miss Liu's offering $200 a picture, easiest money I've ever made. By evening, school was over. I patted Yue on the head and said goodbye. Long, being the clingy drama queen he is, whined, I want a goodbye like that too. I shoved him away. Dude, be a man for once. Long pouted, looking tragically offended. Just then, I heard a faint click. I spun around, scanning the area. Nothing. Long tilted his head. Why do you keep looking around? You're acting paranoid. I frowned. Don't know, feels like someone's been taking pictures of me all day. Suddenly, a memory flashed in my head. Qian Qin's phone wallpaper. Wait, is it Qian Qin? I muttered. I quietly approached a large tree, spotted a shadow, and grabbed whoever was hiding there. It wasn't Qian Qin. I sighed in relief. Of course, a goddess like Qian Qin wouldn't stoop to this. Turning to the girl I'd caught, I extended a hand. Hand over the phone. The girl caught red-handed shivered. I only took one photo, just this one. I swear. I scrolled through her phone. Sure enough, there was a photo of me on the basketball court. I narrowed my eyes. One photo. Hot. Why are you taking pictures? The girl hesitated, then mumbled. Miss Liu's people posted a task in our group chat. If we take a picture of you, we get paid. Miss Liu again. I groaned. Who's Miss Liu? Is this whole area under her control? The girl nodded nervously. Her name's Liu Crossing. She's the boss around here. I deleted the photos and handed the phone back. Go home, don't do this again. As the girl scurried off, I clenched my fists. Miss Liu, you're turning out to be a real pain. Looks like I need to deal with her and soon. The next day, I invited Lon to the mall again. I told him that I had signed with a live streaming platform, but with a few small conditions, which they agreed to. I also mentioned the gifts my fans had given me and said, today, I want you to help me pick out some presents. Lon got excited when he heard I was buying gifts for someone. How? Do you have a crush on someone? Who is it? You've got to tell me. I'm so hurt that you didn't share this with me. I gave him a blank stare. Lon, what's going through your mind? It's for my sister, Chin's sister. When Lon heard that it was a gift for Chin's sister, his excitement disappeared. He asked, so, what conditions did you set with the platform? Nothing special, I replied, just that I won't show my face unless I want to. Also, they can't force me to stream anything other than games. And I won't be attending offline events unless I feel like it. I'll only stream 2 hours a day, maybe a little more on weekends, but most importantly, no selling myself. Lon's eyes lit up. They agreed to all that. How? You're amazing. These are the kind of privileges only top-tier streamers get. I rolled my eyes. While Long and I were talking excitedly, unaware, a few pairs of eyes were coldly watching us from behind. It was green tea guy Feng, who was also at the mall with his friends. Feng introduced me to his friend. This is the #1 handsome guy at our school. He's always surrounded by a bunch of girls, acting all high and mighty. What a disgusting, pretentious guy. His friend suggested, let's teach him a lesson. We'll make him cry and then post embarrassing photos of him online, he added. Fun grinned. I've been wanting to deal with Hao for a while now. Boston gave me some money recently. I'll you a mock lipstick afterward. The guy in yellow quickly volunteered. Let's make him cry. Then we'll take ugly pics and post them online. Fun smiled. Once the whole internet sees your ugly photos, Hao, I'll see if you still have the guts to show up in front of me. I felt like I had ended up in a world where women dominated and men were subjugated. Here, guys fought by ripping shirts, grabbing hair, and even spitting. Just a moment ago, Fun and his lackeys were planning to make me cry in a secluded area and post embarrassing pictures online. Meanwhile, Lon and I were completely oblivious to the danger closing in. We were in the Romeo Geely store, buying a $10 belt as a gift for Chin's sister. Lon sighed. How? You're so good to Chin's sister, buying her such an expensive gift. I smiled slightly. After becoming a streamer, the tips are pretty decent. This is nothing plus. Chin's sister gave me real diamond earrings. Lon immediately perked up. Wait, real diamond earrings? I want to see them. His voice made my scalp tingle. I quickly responded, I didn't bring them today. I'll show you next time. I was about to head to the restroom, and Lon followed me. Unbeknownst to us, the green tea trio had been following closely behind. The opportunity had finally arrived. Fun instructed his lackeys to go in first while he stayed behind to keep watch, to avoid me noticing and causing trouble by claiming that he was bullying me at school. The guy in the shawl rolled up his sleeves and said, Fun, just wait for the good news from us. On the other side, just as I came out of the restroom, I saw Long, who was busy spritzing himself with perfume. I said, Long, stop spraying. That's way too strong. Let's hurry and go eat. As we were about to leave, Feng's lackeys walked straight in. They were looking for trouble. The guy in the shawl, eyes closed, rushed toward me recklessly, but I quickly dodged, causing him to freeze in shock. Where did he go? Just as he was about to trip and fall, I grabbed his collar. What the hell are you doing? Don't walk so recklessly. Unexpectedly, the guy in yellow turned around and falsely accused me. Didn't you see where you were going? You almost hit my friend. Lon got angry when he heard that. Are you blind? Your friend walked into me. Well, if you don't need them, you can donate your eyes. Hearing Long curse, the guy in the shawl immediately shook off my grip, grabbing Long by the collar. "Who the hell are you cursing at? Say it again." Seeing Long getting bullied, I grabbed the guy's hand. "You know who walked into whom, don't you? I'll let that slide, but if you mess with my friend again, don't blame me for being rude." The guy in the shawl was clearly rattled by my fierce look. "You're accusing me of hitting someone. Don't talk nonsense." The guy in yellow was shaking, clearly scared. This guy seems hard to deal with. I didn't say another word. I shoved them both aside. Good dogs don't block the way. But unexpectedly, the guy in the shawl spat a big wad of saliva right at me. Thankfully, I reacted quickly and dodged it. That really pissed me off. And I said the classic line, "Don't think just because you're a man I won't hit you." I immediately threw a punch straight at his face, knocking him to the ground, making him spit out his teeth. The guy in yellow, seeing his buddy getting beaten, yelled, "You bastard! How dare you hit him?" That was enough to light a fire under Long. Flexing his biceps, he said, "You're the ones looking for trouble. If you don't like it, let's settle this with a fight." Next second, the two of them were at it. Hair pulling, clothes ripping, the whole shebang. It was like watching a cat fight so even, it could have been a circus act. I just stared. Speechless. Guess it's up to me again. All right, I'm here to teach these two street performers a lesson for all 3-5 billion men. Then, the bathroom echoed with their blood-curdling screams, along with Long's enthusiastic cheers. I looked at the two of them, now sporting black eyes and swollen faces, and gave them one last warning. "Next time you pull a stunt like this, I'll break your legs, got it?" With that, I waved Long to follow me out. But wait, here comes Mr. Drama. The shoulder pad guy was now glaring at me, like I'd just ruined his day. This jerk actually slapped me in the face. "Just wait, I'll get my girlfriend, and we'll sort you out." After dealing with Feng's lackeys, Long and I finished our meal and stepped out of the mall. He didn't expect to be cornered right outside. Here we go. The shoulder pad guy was there, now with his girlfriend, and began playing the victim. "Look what How did to me, he's bullying me." Yellow shirt guy chimed in, backing him up, while Feng, the classic green tea guy, was already looking for the nearest bathroom. But Feng had his own plans. Instead of jumping in with the others, he was thinking of secretly recording me and the shoulder pad guy facing off, posted on the school forum, and call me a slutty jerk. Meanwhile, the shoulder pad guy and his girlfriend reached us. I shot them a cold stare. "What, you two again? Are you serious?" Long, looking a little rattled, muttered something about how Suche was just looking for trouble and even spit toward us. I was done being patient. "Look, if you want to fight, get on with it. I don't have all day." But that's when the shoulder pad guy's girlfriend started acting weird. Finally, the guy snapped, "Babe, what are you doing? Snap out of it." She cleared her throat and said, Okay, let's keep this civilized. "I'm sorry, but you should apologize to my boyfriend. This whole mess can be over." This sent the shoulder pad guy into a fury. "You expect me to apologize after all that? You've got a lot of nerve." At that point, their argument got louder. I saw my chance. "Listen, if you're just gonna argue, take it elsewhere. Don't block the path with that." I waved Long along, but shoulder pad guy wasn't done. He charged again, but this time, I had enough. My patience snapped, and I warned them, "Get out of my way, or I'll make you regret it. No one will recognize you, not even your dads." Shoulder pad guy's girlfriend was a little freaked out. "Now let's just drop it, otherwise, that expensive Hermes bag you want, forget it." They wouldn't back off. She tried a different tactic. "Hey, handsome, it was all a misunderstanding. How about we at each other as friends? I'll send you a little gift as an apology." Meanwhile, Feng, lurking around the corner, had secretly recorded everything. He thought he was slick, right? Now, as Feng was basking in his sneakiness, Miss Liu showed up right behind him. She tapped him on the shoulder. "What's this?" "Huh? Let me see." Feng turned, his face drained of color as he saw who it was. He immediately tried to act innocent. "I wasn't doing anything." But Miss Liu was no joke. She grabbed him by the neck and yanked the phone out of his hands. After watching the video, her face darkened. "How dare you? You think you can get my man in the same frame with some other woman?" Feng was gasping for air, eyes wide as he begged her not to hurt him. Miss Liu just laughed. "You better come with me to meet your brother-in-law." When she reached me, she waved a casual hi. "How long time no see. You have no idea how much I've missed you the past couple of days. And that, my friends, is how I learned that absence truly makes the heart grow fonder." Hearing her cheesy love confession, I was totally speechless. Long, on the other hand, was shaking in his boots, hiding behind me. So, I grabbed Long and was about to leave. But Miss Liu wasn't about to let us off that easy. How? Don't rush off, she called out. Someone just took a sneaky photo of you, and I caught them. With that, she kicked Feng right in the back. You can deal with him however you want now. I looked at her, totally unfazed. What do you want, exactly? Are you looking for a fight? Miss Liu flashed a mysterious smile. She turned to her assistant and ordered, bring it over. Moments later, wearing a Parisian outfit, Miss Liu was holding a huge bouquet of roses. She flashed a charming smile and said, "How? Be my boyfriend, I really like you." I was left stunned. What the hell is this woman playing at? She continued, "As long as you're my boyfriend, I'll get you anything you want, even the stars in the sky. I'll pick them for you." Her blatant confession had me blushing. What the hell? Why don't you just stick to the usual routine? We could have fought or something. I quickly rejected her. I'm not interested in you. There's no way we're dating now. If there's nothing else, let us go. Miss Liu chuckled softly. Guess I was too hasty. Rejection's fine, but can I keep the flowers? She just doesn't take no for an answer. Last time we met, she was trying to stab me, and now she's acting all sweet. I refused again. I told you, I'm not your boyfriend. If you keep bothering me, I'll call the cops. Hearing this, Miss Liu tossed the flowers aside and ordered her crew to escort these guys for some tea. Don't interrupt my conversation with my man. The guys being dragged away yelled out, "It's a misunderstanding." Lon, watching this, was pale as a ghost. You're not planning to kill them, right? Miss Liu laughed it off. Why would I do that? We're all friendly here. You must be his friend. Ji-Lon, right? I glared at her. Miss Liu was completely unfazed. She leaned in closer and whispered, "Isn't it normal to care about your man's friends? Some of my guys are really into this type, and when they go crazy, I can't even stop them." I felt the blood rush to my face. She dared use Lon to threaten me. I was beyond furious, but I wasn't about to date her. How about we compromise? Tell me what you want. Miss Liu grinned. You really know how to play it cool. All right, I'll step back a bit. How about we meet at the bar tonight? 7 p.m. Lights bar. We'll have a drink, just you and me. I slapped her hand off, coldly saying, "Time, man, place." Then, after she left, Long immediately asked, "Are you really going? They seem scary, all those tattoos and everything." I rejected his suggestion. They're just harassing us right now, not breaking the law. If we anger her, she find a way to trap us later. Don't worry. Long, I've been practicing Muay Thai. They won't get me. The next moment, Lon suddenly burst into tears. How? You can't die. What will I do if you're gone? I just stared at him, speechless. It's just a bar, not the death sentence. Just then, a figure appeared in front of us. It was the female CEO's secretary. She said Bossway wanted to see me and asked me to follow her. I was like, today really isn't my day. I've already been cornered 3 times just at the mall. And who's this Bossway? I don't even know the person. I flat out refused. But the next moment, a group of bodyguards surrounded me, staring at me like I was about to say no again. And they dragged me off to see Bossway. Seeing the situation, I had no choice but to back down. Fine, I'll follow you, I said. I turned to Long and told him to head home first, and we'd keep in touch by phone. I followed the secretary to a grand building and, in no time, we were inside Bossway's office. When I saw her, I was taken aback. Her presence was intense. This was not someone you mess with. She was Bossway, the head of Fenghuan Media Group. She got up from her desk and walked over, sizing me up. You look good. There's no one like you on the market right now, she said, pointing to the contract in her secretary's hand. Sign this, and I'll make you a top-tier star. I skimmed the contract quickly and handed it back. Sorry, Bossway, I'm not interested in being a celebrity. Don't waste your time. Before she could respond, her secretary jumped in. You're just a high schooler. Don't be ungrateful. I grabbed her hand and coldly said, I don't need this, and I don't want to be famous. Can't you understand simple words? Then, with a swift move, I threw her to the floor. Crash. Bossway saw this and raised an eyebrow. So, you're a fighter, huh? She immediately stepped forward, ready to throw a punch. I dodged the punch easily, ready to return the favor, but she grabbed my arm before I could react. A high schooler who knows how to fight. I like this. Now I'm more confident I can make you a star. I firmly refused again. Thanks for the offer, Bossway, but I'm not interested. You can keep this opportunity for someone else. She smiled and let go of my arm. "Don't be too hasty, there's nothing I can't do in this world. Take your time to think it over." She then told her secretary to escort me out. As I left, I thought, this woman's not someone you mess with. I was stuck in a world where women rule, and here I was, being threatened by a mafia queen. She said, if I didn't date her, she'd go after my friends, to protect Lon. I decided I'd meet her at the bar tonight to clear things up. I was ready for this showdown, armed with a recorder, pocket knife, and pepper spray. Before I left, I sent Lon a message. If I don't call you by 8:30, call the cops, you might catch me in action. This time, I was going to make sure I cut all ties with Miss Liu for good. As the light drizzle began to fall from the sky, I arrived at the luminous bar. Inside, one of Miss Liu's spirited assistants greeted me. She told me that the boss had been waiting for me. I gave her a cold look and ordered her to lead the way. She took me to a private room where Miss Liu, the infamous gangster boss, was waiting. Without wasting time, I went straight to the point. I'm here today to draw a clear line between us. I don't want anything to do with you, just like when we first met. You don't know me, and I don't know you. This is the best way for both of us. Miss Liu smirked. Well, that's going to be a bit tricky, isn't it? You're just too attractive. How, since you're speaking up, how about this? She picked up a glass of red wine and handed it to me. If you satisfy me just once, I'll let you go. After that, you can do whatever you want, and I won't bother you again. Deal? Looking at the wine, I had no idea what was mixed in there, but I coldly refused. You know that's not possible. If you keep this up, I'll call the cops again. Miss Liu wasn't fazed. I'm just pursuing you. Seriously, haven't done anything wrong yet. Seeing that I was proving difficult, the assistant who had brought me in suggested, boss, stop wasting time. Let the girls grab him. You can have your way with him. Maybe get a video or two, and he'll be compliant from now on. I stared at her, unimpressed. I had thought it would take more effort to get the evidence, but she was making it too easy for me. It felt almost too convenient. Miss Liu stroked her chin, smirking. My little sister has a point. How do you want me all to yourself, or would you prefer my girls join in? Your choice. At that, the assistant behind me pulled out a knife, grinning lasciviously. I was done playing. The evidence was in the bag, so I pulled out my pepper spray and sprayed it directly at her face as she staggered back, eyes stinging. I took out my small knife and pressed it against her neck. Don't move. Drop your knife, I said, then turned to Miss Liu. Let me leave, or if this escalates into self-defense and someone gets hurt, I'm sure you don't want that on your hands. Miss Liu glared at me. You've got guts. Kid, looks like you're a little wildcat. I slowly backed away, preparing to leave. Don't send anyone after me, Miss Liu. If there's blood and the cops get involved, it won't end well for you. I shoved the door open and dragged the assistant with me. Miss Liu didn't follow, but I heard her sneer. How? Playing this game with me? Huh. I've got all the time in the world to deal with you. At that moment, the assistant I had just grabbed sent a text to Miss Liu. It had a photo of me holding the recording pen, with a message. If you mess with me or anyone close to me again, I'll send this to the cops. We'll see who wins in the end. Miss Liu's face went pale with rage. So that's why this little brat dared to act so tough. He was counting on this. At that moment, I was rushing home through the rain, unaware that a woman was silently watching me from behind, holding her phone. She spoke. Boss Wei. How is fine just now? At school, I was worried if last night's threat to Miss Liu would work. If he kept pestering me, I'd have to find another way. But then, I heard from a classmate that Miss Liu has been replaced as the new boss of this area tonight. She'd be meeting the new boss at the light bar apparently. The Phoenix Red Group was unhappy with Miss Liu bullying students and decided to replace her. I vaguely recognized the name. Phoenix Red Group. Wasn't that Boss Wei's company? Could this leadership change have something to do with me? Well, I decided to stop overthinking it. That night, when I came home from school, I found that Chin's sister had already prepared dinner and was waiting for me. I looked around and asked, where are Dad and Aunt John? Chin's sister replied, Dad and Mom are working late tonight. They won't be back. I blinked, a bit stunned. So it's just you and me at home tonight? Well, I was lost in thought. Chin's sister poked me on the head. How? What are you spacing out for? I awkwardly cleared my throat out. Chin's sister, let's eat quickly, or the food will get cold. Chin's sister looked at me with a knowing smile, as if she knew exactly what I was thinking. Soon, we finished dinner, and she told me to go to my room and stream while she'd clean up the dishes. She even grabbed my hand and said, I can't let my pretty hands do housework. I agreed. Okay, Chin's sister, you're perfect, beautiful, and caring. Back in my room, I started my usual 2-hour stream. Ranking up in the game, time flew by, and soon the stream was over. Just as I finished, Chin's sister came to check on me, asking if I was tired from streaming. She offered, "How about I give you a massage?" I smiled and replied, "I'm fine, you just did the housework, you should rest." Chin's sister pulled me close and said, "You're so considerate. How, let's rest together." I responded, "We're family, of course, we should care for each other." At the mention of family, I saw her eyes widen, as if something had triggered a memory. Looked at her, puzzled, and then saw tears welling up in her eyes. She had suddenly started crying. It was like a floodgate had opened. I quickly comforted her, saying, "No more tears. Women shouldn't cry. It's not attractive." She managed a small laugh through her tears. "I'm just so happy being family with you. How is the best thing ever." At that moment, I realized how fortunate I was to have Chin's sister as family. In my past life, my family was incomplete. My dad never remarried, but here, things were different. My dad had someone. I squeezed Chin's sister's hand, determined to protect this family, no matter what. "We'll always be happy like this, Chin's sister," I said, my voice full of emotion. Chin's sister's eyes were brimming with tears. She quickly turned away, trying to hide them. She seemed to want to maintain her composure, as she didn't want to cry in front of me. Soon, it was bedtime. I thought Chin's sister would leave my room, but she insisted on staying to keep me company, saying she was worried I'd be scared alone. She also wanted to talk. I glanced at her and asked, "What do you want to talk about?" "I'll lay it all out for you." Chin's sister leaned closer and asked, "What type of girls do you like?" "How?" I panicked a little, stammering, I like gentle, kind girls, and ones who are a bit clingy." She smiled, understanding. "So you like girls like that? Do you have any girls like that at school?" I immediately thought of Yue, but shook my head. "Yu's not clingy, she's more adorably awkward." Chin's sister nodded and said, "I see. Well, it's probably better not to date in school anyway." Then, she placed my head on her chest and said, "I'm just worried about you. How you're so handsome. I don't want you getting mixed up with the wrong kind of people." The next day, I suddenly woke up and realized that Chin's sister was no longer beside me. I walked around the living room. I couldn't find her. I went to her room, but she wasn't there either. It was the weekend, and I hadn't expected Chin's sister to be working in the lab today. I noticed there were many novels on Chin's sister's bookshelf. The female-targeted novels in this world must be quite popular. I decided to pick one to read. Suddenly, my eyes caught a book titled The Secret of My Beautiful Cousin. I opened it and immediately closed it again. It was a damn erotic comic. Could it be that Chin's sister had certain thoughts? I quickly dismissed the idea and put the book back. Just then, a sharp pain hit my head, and a memory surfaced in my mind. I remembered being bullied as a child, and a little girl who came to help me. That little girl was none other than Chin's sister. It turned out that Chin's sister and I had known each other since childhood. The beautiful super admin had only watched Hao's live stream for a moment, but she became obsessed and insisted on meeting him offline. Not long ago, while I was live streaming, I was ready to end the stream early because my mood was off. My head was a mess, and all I could think about were the scenes from Chin's sister's book. Could she really have those kinds of thoughts? Besides, I felt like I had hit a bottleneck in my live streaming career. My follower count and popularity were stuck, making it a really tough day. Earning money from live streaming didn't seem so easy. At that moment, the live stream platform sent a system message. When I opened it, I saw that the platform had customized several plans to boost my popularity, and I was instructed to contact Super Admin 1 to get them. I had a bad feeling about this and suspected they were just trying to take advantage of me, so I ignored the message. But the next day, the platform sent another private message again. I ignored it, but the platform didn't give up and sent a message on the third date. This time, I was in the bathroom, and it wasn't even the worst part. The platform had sent me a private message, 2 a.m. That was when my patience ran out. I decided to see how long they'd keep sending messages. Finally, Super Admin 1 couldn't hold back and asked why I hadn't contacted them. I glared at the screen, furious, and told them I didn't need any popularity boosting plans. I reminded them that when I signed the contract, it was agreed that I wouldn't be doing anything beyond live streaming, but Super Admin 1 still sent over 3 plans for me to look at. They said they'd come visit me in person the day after tomorrow to discuss them. I covered my forehead in exhaustion. I was dreading what kind of live stream it wanted me to do. The thought alone gave me goosebumps. I was a tough guy, and being asked to do something like that was unbearable. I clicked on the plans, and the first one suggested I wear bunny ears and a small skirt while dancing to energetic music. The second one was for an anime-style cosplay livestream. As a nerdy girl fan, the third plan was the only normal one. Just live streaming fitness to get a six-pack. After reading them, I knew I should never have expected anything better from them. These were all ridiculous. 3 days later, it was time for my meeting with Miss Som, the platform's exclusive manager. I brought Long along to see what she was up to. After we sat down, Miss Song introduced herself. It turns out my personal manager's name was Miss Song. I introduced Long, and then Long spoke up, saying that he had looked at the 3 plans, but honestly, he wasn't very interested. Miss Song, however, remained calm and said, "I know your personality. The first 2 plans were just filler, but the last one, you might want to give it a try. It could have unexpected results." Hearing that, I asked Miss Song to elaborate, but instead of explaining, Miss Song stood up, walked over, and touched my chest muscles, leaving Long frozen in surprise. Miss Song said, "With a body like this, you must be working out regularly, right? Since that's the case, why not try streaming workout sessions with a mask on? You won't have to show your face, and you can work out while increasing your popularity. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Doesn't that sound great?" Long thought it was a good idea too. I considered it for a moment. Streaming workouts wasn't that extreme, and selling my physique wasn't too bad. Plus, it could set an example and encourage other men to get fit and regain their confidence. It seemed like a positive thing to do, so I decided to give it a try. I'd stream fitness sessions 2-3 times a week and see how it went. When I got home, I told my dad about the plan. He was furious when he heard grabbing a frying pan. He yelled, "I don't agree with this." Chin's sister, noticing my dad's reaction, added, "Ever since How started streaming fitness, more and more people are liking him. It's making me jealous." Just then, my dad found out I was going to stream fitness and immediately grabbed me by the neck. "Little brat, you think you're all that now, huh?" I quickly begged for mercy. "Aren't you worried about me getting taken advantage of? Since I'm a guy, I'll work out, and that solves the problem, right?" At that moment, Chin's sister came to my rescue. "He has a point. Let him try it. I'll supervise him, and if he crosses any lines, I'll make sure the stream ends immediately." Dad sighed helplessly. "Chin, you spoil him too much. This kid never makes things easy." "All right, let him try it, but this is the last time." Relieved that Dad agreed, I quickly thanked Chin's sister. "I'm lucky to have you, or else I would have gotten a beating from Dad again." Dad's slaps were always slow anyway. If anyone calls me a softie again, they're in for it. That evening, I set up my live streaming equipment, put on my mask, and started broadcasting. Standing on the treadmill, I greeted the audience, then shared some tips on running before starting my workout. As soon as I appeared on screen, the heat in the live stream room surged up rapidly, and the gifts kept coming in. The audience was going wild in the chat. As I saw the number of viewers rise, I was surprised to find that people were actually quite interested in fitness. However, what I didn't know was that viewers were even more interested in the host himself. Some couples even started fighting and were on the verge of divorce over it. I became the target of envy for countless married men. Looking at the data in the back end, Miss Som, the head moderator, smiled slightly. I knew it. A host like How is one of a kind in the entire live streaming world. At that moment, a viewer placed a bet in the chat. "If the host can last 15 minutes, I'll send to rockets." I saw the message and responded with, "Is that all? Let me show you how a real tough guy from another world does it." Time passed, and 30 minutes later, I had run for over 20 minutes. If it weren't for the constant encouragement from the live audience, I might have stopped. They even urged me to keep running for another hour. Meanwhile, Chin's sister, standing beside me, was feeling envious as she saw so many people admiring me. "How is only she thought. "No one else can have him." But then, she stopped herself. "I must control myself. I can't be like I was when we were kids, or How will just leave me again." At that moment, I had already finished the stream and didn't notice Chin's sister's expression. She walked over to me and asked if I was tired. "You shouldn't stream like this too often. You've sweat so much. I feel bad for you," she said, concerned. I pulled my mask down and reassured her, "Don't worry, it's nothing. This amount of exercise is no big deal for me." Hearing that, Chin's sister didn't say much more. She patted me on the back and urged, "Hurry up and take a shower. Don't catch a cold." But then, I froze. Did Chin's sister just get a little too close? I quickly shook my head. It must have been a hallucination. Late that night, as everyone was already asleep, my bedroom door creaked open, and a foot stepped inside. It was Chin's sister. She came over to my bedside and silently watched me as I slept. The next part of the story, I know, isn't something you all want to hear, so I'll spare you the details. I woke up and found a beautiful woman lying beside me. I rubbed my eyes and realized it was Chin's sister. I hurriedly asked, "Chin's sister, why are you in my room?" She stretched lazily and said, "I just came to check if you were kicking the covers off, but I got too tired and ended up falling asleep." I awkwardly coughed. "Chin's sister, if you're tired, you should sleep a bit longer. I'm going to freshen up now, or I'll be late for school." Chin's sister nodded and told me not to worry. "When I buy a car later, I'll make sure you sleep in longer." Soon, I arrived at the school gate, looking at my phone while heading to the classroom. Upon closer inspection, I noticed I was looking at a taekwondo recruitment ad. Recently, I've been thinking about learning more combat techniques. I've been getting too much attention from people, and though I learned Muay Thai not long ago, I still need more self-defense skills. Just then, Yu's voice came from behind. "How? I can do taekwondo too." Surprised, I pointed at my phone and asked, "Really? When did you learn it?" "I started when I was little," Yue replied, "and I also know martial arts." It seemed like martial arts and boxing were essential skills for wealthy young ladies. Yue also seemed to be interested in firearms. Her house was full of them. "This world is so different from my old one," I thought to myself. Yue explained, "My grandmother is a soldier growing up. I wanted to be a soldier and protect my country, so I started training from a young age. I'll go to a military school and become a soldier." After hearing how impressive Yue was, an idea suddenly popped into my head. "Hey Yue, how about teaching me some fighting techniques? After all, I get a free coach, so why pay for one?" I added, "We still have time before class. How about we go to the warehouse behind the playground and practice for a while?" Yue asked. "Just the two of us? In that case, I'm in." At this point, I felt a little strange about how she said that. It seemed a bit ambiguous, but I brushed it off since we were only practicing martial arts. We soon arrived at the empty warehouse behind the playground. Yue said, "Let's spar first. Let me see how good you are." Once I was ready, Yue crouched and quickly lunged toward me, closing the distance in an instant before I could react. She grabbed me and threw me onto the ground, pinning me down on top of her. "How? You lost?" she said with a smile. I quickly waved my hand in surrender. "This world's girls are really terrifying," I thought. After I admitted defeat, Yue shyly asked, "Since you lost, does that mean I get a reward?" I froze, confused. "What reward? We didn't make any baits." Before I could react, Yue suddenly bit my ear. I broke into a cold sweat and frantically asked her to let go. After releasing me, Yue blushed and asked, "Did you like it?" Looking at Yu's bashful expression, I thought, who could resist this? It was completely different from her usual stiff demeanor, and I had to admit, this side of Yue was quite charming. I quickly sat up and asked, "Why did you do something like that? Did someone teach you to do this?" Yue said, "No one taught me. I learned it by watching videos. Yuan sent me a lot of them." When I heard Yuan's name, I immediately had a bad feeling. I quickly asked Yue to show me the videos. Yue handed me her phone. Yuan said, "These are great videos. We can learn from them and exchange ideas." I glanced at the phone and immediately thought, Yuan, you're really asking for it. You've completely corrupted Yue." Seeing my dark expression, Yue nervously asked, "Did I do something wrong?" I gently patted her head. "You shouldn't listen to Yuan. If you ever come across something strange, ask me first. We can't learn or share things like this in real life." But Yue only heard part of what I said. She then asked, "So when can we exchange things like that?" I awkwardly chuckled. "Normal classmates or friends don't do that. Only boyfriend and girlfriend can." I added, "From now on, you can't do that, and no more biting people's ears either." Just as I was about to drag her back to the classroom, Yue spoke up again. "Since that's the case, then, will you be my boyfriend?" I froze, staring at her wide-eyed. "Do you know what being boyfriend and girlfriend means?" Yue shook her head. I was speechless. "Then we'll talk about it once you understand what it means." Class ended, and I was all set to head out with Long to queue up for lunch. But surprise, Yue popped out of nowhere and asked again, "Can we talk now?" Long and I nearly jumped out of our skin. "No way. Did you even figure out what boyfriend and girlfriend means yet?" I shot back. "I thought that was the end of it." "Nope." During pay class, Yue appeared again. Same question, rejected. Then during cleaning duty, boom. Yue again, out of nowhere. "How did you even get out here? This is the 3rd floor." I yelled, half spooked, half impressed. Later, on our way home, Long squinted at me suspiciously. How? What exactly is Yue trying to talk about? She's been showing up like a ghost all day. I sighed dramatically. Don't ask, man. Your bro here is just too irresistible. Meanwhile, our favorite green tea bull Yufeng was losing his mind. He saw everything. Why on earth is Yue, the rich princess, into that loser? How is this fair? Then, as luck would have it, Liu Feng spotted something juicy. A professional-looking woman had just approached me. After a short chat, I left with her, leaving Long behind. Liu Feng's eyes gleamed. His phone came out faster than a gunslinger's draw. Snap, gotcha. So you're a sugar baby after all. How? Let's see you explain this one when it's all over the school forum. As for me, that professional-looking woman turned out to be none other than Boss Wei's secretary. Didn't recognize her at first. Guess she wasn't exactly friendly last time. She apologized for how she acted before and got straight to the point. Boss Wei wanted to see me again to discuss signing a contract. I wasted no time shaking my head. Still not interested. I don't want to be a celebrity, and I won't waste your time. The secretary didn't budge. How about a compromise? Just a phone call. Nothing more, sighed Boss Wei. This woman is trouble. Even thinking about our last encounter made me shiver. She's way too sharp. Reluctantly, I agree. We called her right there in the cafe. Boss Wei. I'll say it again. I'm not signing. Don't waste your time on me. I'm just a nobody. Boss Wei, calm as ever, cut me off. How? You want to be strong, don't you? Like the women in this world. I saw it during our fight. That fire in your eyes. You hate being seen as a weak man, right? I know that look. I've seen it before. Think about it. I don't just make stars. I make things happen. Click. She hung up. I stared at my phone, stunned. Damn. This woman's good. She knows exactly where to hit. Guess I'll have to meet her after all. Meanwhile, Boss Wei was lost in thought, staring out her office window. He's just like my father, she mused, strong, stubborn, and hates being underestimated. The next morning, a luxury sports car rolled up to the school gates, sending the entire student body into a frenzy. Whispers and gossip exploded like fireworks. Whose car is that? Whoa. Is this for real? That thing's worth a fortune. The driver's side door opened, and out stepped a polished black heel. I squinted against the sunlight. Man, it's way too bright out here, I muttered. The car's much calm fire. Suddenly, someone called out to me. How? I looked up. It was Chin. Yep, she bought a car. Not just any car, a ridiculously flashy one. She took one look at my disheveled hair and reached out, smoothing it down with a fond smile. Get to class. Little brother, she teased. I'll wait here and make sure you go in. I waved her off and hurried toward the gate, all too aware of the hundreds of eyes glued to me. Kin's been acting extra sweet lately, or am I just overthinking it? By lunchtime, things had gotten weird. Walking down the hallway, I noticed a group of students suddenly freeze up, guilty looks, panicked whispers. It was like I'd caught them red-handed talking smack about me. Turns out, I kinda had. They'd been staring at a post on the school forum. Apparently, there was some breaking news about me. Specifically, rumors that I was being kept like some sort of sugar baby. I wasn't the only one confused. My buddy Lon and I hadn't seen the forum, so we were totally clueless. The vibe was just off. Everyone was staring. Everyone was whispering, dude, what's going on? Long muttered, it's like we caught the plague or something. I shrug, beats me. Let's just hang out in the classroom until this blows over. And then came the final straw. A green-haired guy strutted over with a smug grin, arms full of homework. Yo, anyone here still missing their assignment? He paused and smirked at me. Our school's heartthrob didn't turn his in yet. Huh. Must be too busy, you know, being pampered. His tone dripped with sarcasm. I raised an eyebrow and slapped my homework into his hands. If you're jealous of my face, just say so. Quit whining. Green hair sneered. Jealous? Nah. I'm just amazed you can act so chill. Don't you know everyone's talking about you? Getting kept by all those women. How do you even look in the mirror? Kept, women. It finally clicked. So that's what everyone's been whispering about lately. Lon, of course, lost it. What the hell are you talking about? He shouted, pointing an accusatory finger at green hair. That's straight up slander. Green hair smirked. Guess you haven't seen the forum, huh? How's reputation is toast, pictures and everything. All those women waiting for him at the school gate. Yeah, real innocent. Lon grabbed his phone. Let me see this crap. A few seconds later, Lon's face turned red. The post was right there. Photos of Chin dropping me off at school, complete with comments that labeled me the school's resident playboy. How? Lon said through gritted teeth. These jerks, they're calling you a womanizer. I facepalmed. You've got to be kidding me. Just then, the teacher knocked on the door and asked me to follow her to the office. I couldn't believe this situation had blown up so much that even the teacher got involved. As soon as I stepped into the office, she got straight to the point. Do you know about the rumors spreading on the school forum? I shrugged. I just found out about it. The teacher frowned, clearly displeased. This has created a bad influence. How? You need to stop getting involved in things like this, or your future will be ruined. I raised my hands immediately, trying to stop her. Even the teacher thinks this nonsense is real? I swear, I'm not being kept by anyone. The person who drives me to school is my sister. And the other lady, I only met her once because of some business. If you don't believe me, I'll call my sister right now. Before I knew it, Chin arrived at school and had a long chat with the teacher. Meanwhile, outside the office, a group of nosy classmates were eavesdropping. Whoa, did you see that? The woman who just went in, she's drop-dead gorgeous. Wait, isn't that the same woman who's been driving How to school? The classmates hushed as they pressed their ears to the door. Then, someone overheard the conversation. She just said she's How's sister. The disappointed sighs were audible. Ooh, that's so boring. No drama after all. After clearing things up, Chin turned to me and asked, do you want me to explain this to your classmates too? So they stopped spreading rumors. Double quotes. I grinned. Nah. Leave it to me. You should get back to work. Don't let this hold you up. When I returned to the classroom, Yuan practically leapt out of her chair. How? I knew you were innocent. A man of honor. She'd whipped out her phone and declared proudly. Lon already went snooping and found out the post came from Liu Feng and his crew. I looked around. Wait, where's Lon? Did he go alone? Seeing Lon's empty desk, I got a sinking feeling. The three of us split up to search for him. I asked around other classrooms. Yue headed downstairs, and Yuan checked the grove of trees outside. We regrouped a while later. Any luck? I asked. Yuan shook her head, but Yue raised her hand. One of the students said they saw Lon in the school bathroom with Liu Feng and his goons. My teeth clenched. Again with this Liu Feng guy. Does he have a death wish? Worried that something might have happened to Lon, I told the others to follow me to the bathrooms. Inside the bathroom, Lon looked pitiful, banging on the door and shouting, Liu Feng, you jerk. I'll tell the teachers about this. You hear me? His phone calls to me had all failed, no signal, so now he had no choice but to keep yelling for help. Then, my voice echoed through the door. Lon, are you in there? The moment Lon heard me, his defenses crumbled. How? You're finally here. I thought I was going to die in here. I yelled back, stand clear of the door. Yu's about to kick it down. Before Lon could respond, Yu's foot smashed into the door with a deafening bang. The door cracked and split apart. I stood there, stunned, frozen in place. Even Lon staggered back, pale-faced. Dude, I almost died. And not even from Liu Feng, but from you guys. I pulled Lon aside. What happened? How did they lock you in here? Lon sniffled. Liu Feng and his guys were awful. Not only did they lock me in, but they also poured milk all over me. His eyes welled up again. How? We have to tell the teacher. I patted his shoulder to calm him down. Not yet, let's wait until after school. Then, I'll get payback for you. By evening, Liu Feng was dragged to a secluded corner. Terrified, he shouted, How? You're not just immoral, now you're bullying me too. If the teachers find out, you're done for. I shot him a cold look. You should worrying about yourself first. My sister already clarified the forum rumors, but you, locking Lon in the bathroom, did you forget there are cameras behind the sports field? I stepped closer. Here are your options. Option 1. Admit you spread the fake post and apologize to Lon. Option 2. I take this straight to the teacher with the footage. Choose wisely. Liu Feng gritted his teeth. If the truth came out, he'd definitely be expelled, If he confessed and acted remorseful, the teachers might show mercy. Reluctantly, he caved. Fine, I'll record the apology. I leaned in. Voice low. Don't try anything stupid. Cross me again, and I'll bury you. A short video later, Liu Feng was officially humbled. Lon, ever the worrier, nudged me. How? You think Liu Fen'll try to get revenge? I shrug. Let him try. If he wants a disciplinary note on his record, be my guest. I patted Long on the shoulder. Don't worry. Let's head home. On the way back, Yue and I walked side by side. A thought popped into my head. Hey Yue, do you know someone called Boss Wei? Yue nodded. Of course. She's a big deal. She's the head of the Wei family. I blinked. Wait, the head of her whole family? Compared to yours, who's stronger? Yue tilted her head. I'm not sure. Probably about the same. The same? That's insane. No wonder she's so confident. Meanwhile, at Boss Wei's residence, having just wrapped up work, Boss Wei glanced at her phone. 3 days, and Hao still hasn't called. She tapped her desk thoughtfully. For some reason, that boy had been on her mind lately. A knock on the door pulled her from her thoughts. It was her secretary. Boss Wei, Boss Wan from Fuda invited you to Shanlu tonight to discuss the land deal in the West District. Hearing that, Boss Wei wasted no time. Prepare the car. As for me, Chin had dragged me out for a midnight snack. I looked around the luxurious hall we stepped into. Chin, are you sure we're eating here? This place looks way too fancy for a late-night snack. Chin smiled. Of course. Why, Hao suffered at school today. Big Sis is treating you to something nice. Chin, you're amazing. Truly the perfect woman. Chin waved me forward. What are you waiting for? Hao, let's go in. Inside, I suddenly spotted a familiar silhouette. Wait, was that Boss Wei? Nah, probably just my imagination. As soon as the food came, I asked, Chin, can I have a little alcohol tonight? Haven't touched a drop since I got here. Chin chuckled. How's a grown man now? Of course, you can drink, and since Mom and Dad aren't home tonight, you can have a bit more. Big Sis will pour for you. One sip turned into one glass, then two. Man, this tastes just like I remember. Back in my world, even Long couldn't outdrink me. Kin's voice snapped me out of my daydream. How? Don't just drink. Eat something, or you'll upset your stomach. Obediently, I scarfed down the food. Chin, meanwhile, just sat there smiling. She didn't eat anything. Is she on a diet or something? Soon enough, I was full, and suddenly, I felt dizzy. Chin looked concerned. How? Are you okay? Are you drunk? I waved her off. Don't worry. I just drank too fast. I'll head to the restroom real quick. I stumbled my way to the bathroom, face splashed with water, and felt a bit clearer. That's when I noticed someone next to me. Hey, do you have any tissues? I froze. Wait, Boss Wei. Why are you here? This is the men's room. Boss Wei gave me a blank look. This is the ladies' room. You walked into the wrong place. Oh crap. 2 other women walked in just then. Panicking, I grabbed Boss Wei's wrist, bolted into a stall, and locked the door. Boss Wei blinked at me, half amused. I get why you're hiding, but why drag me in here too? I was too dizzy to explain. Seeing me this flustered, she smirked. Well, aren't you bold, dragging me into a stall like this? Then wham! She pinned me against the wall with a classic CEO wall slam. I panicked. What the hell? Lady, are you crazy? Outside, someone whispered. Is that couple seriously doing this in the bathroom? Boss Wei leaned in closer. You dragged me in here, and now you're afraid I'll eat you. Why haven't you called me in 3 days? I averted my gaze. I was planning to contact you tomorrow. I swear. She tilted my chin with her hand. Is that so? Well, I've changed my mind. Forget the contract. Just be my man. I grabbed her hand. We've only met twice. The last person who said that to me disappeared. You know. Boss Wei's eyes glinted. Liu, yeah, she's been dealt with. You should thank me for handling your little stalker. So that's why Liu Ya vanished. I forced a cold smile. Whatever. Now let me go. I'm leaving. No chance. I want an answer now. Pretending to think, I suddenly lunged forward and tickled her. Boss Wei yelped, completely unprepared. Huh, so you're ticklish. I teased, bolting out of the stall while she was still recovering, stumbling out of the restroom. I ran straight into Chin. How? What took you so long? Are you okay? I wobbled slightly. Don't worry. Chin. Just a little drunk. Chin sigh, wrapping an arm around me. Come on. Let's go home. And that's all I remember before I passed out. The next thing I knew, Chin was dragging me back home, setting a cup of something hot in front of me. But man, I was out like a light, drunk beyond belief. Chin leaned in close, watching me with a soft smile, even when he's drunk. How still so adorable, I'll just sneak a little kiss. It's only fair since we're going to end up together sooner or later anyway. I woke up the next morning, feeling like roadkill. But something was off, my neck felt weird. I stumbled into the bathroom, took one look in the mirror, and what the hell? My neck looked like it had been attacked, covered in purplish red marks, panic mode activated. Just then, Chin strolled into the room all calm and collected. How? You're awake? Feeling better? I pointed an accusing finger at my neck. Chin, this. What is this? Chin leaned in, inspecting my neck like a pro. Oh, don't worry. That's just an alcohol allergy. An allergy? My voice cracked. You sure it's not? You know, strawberries. Chin smiled sweetly and flicked my forehead. I'm a doctor, remember? Trust me. It's just an allergy. Now eat breakfast. You don't want to be late for school. On the way to school, Long couldn't stop staring at me. Dude, it's like 90 degrees. Why are you wearing a turtleneck? I forced a grin. Real men don't fear a little heat. In my head, though, damn this stupid neck, all because of last night. And just when I thought things couldn't get worse, some random guy grabbed my collar. You're How, right? Stay away from Yin. He's Lin's crush. Got it. I narrowed my eyes. Take your filthy hands off me. The guy's face turned red. What did you just say? Say it again. I dare you. I didn't bother repeating. Instead, I grabbed his arm and tossed him aside. He hit the ground hard. Lin, help me. This guy's freakishly strong. A calm voice sounded behind him. Lin, the so-called campus prince, strolled over, his eyes gleaming with interest. No wonder Yin likes you, Lin said smoothly. You're not half bad. Long leaned close and whispered, that's Lin from Yin's class. Everyone knows he's got a thing for her. I shrug, not my problem. Just keep your dogs on a leash. Lin smirked, clearly not used to being dismissed. We'll meet again. How? As Long and I walked away, Yue suddenly appeared, blocking our path. How? Want me to teach those guys a lesson? She asked, her face dead serious. I waved my hands frantically. No, please. I still remember how you kicked down that door. Let's not traumatize anyone today. Yue grinned. All right, I'll stick to teaching you how to fight then. Long shivered beside me. How? You're learning boxing now. I patted his head. Want a joy? Real men need to know how to defend themselves. Long flashed a goofy smile. Nah, I'll pass. I'm more of a soft woe. Swimming's more my style. Meanwhile, over at Boss Wei's mansion, she was gliding effortlessly through her private pool, the water shimmering under the sun. After finishing her swim, she climbed out and sat by the poolside, water dripping as she ran a hand through her hair. For some reason, every time she closed her eyes, all she could think about was that bow. How? Ooh, this is ridiculous. I can't let what happened last night slide. She turned to her assistant. When Hao gets out of school, bring him here to the villa. I don't care if you have to tie him up. Just get him here, back at school, after classes. Yue and I headed to the school warehouse. No combat practice today. It was time to focus on core strength. I'm still too weak. Feels like I'll blow over in a stiff breeze. I'm gonna train until I've got ATAC ABS, the strongest man alive, I declared proudly. Then I'll show this world's weak men what real strength looks like during my live streams. Yue tilted her head, curious. ABS, you mean like these? She casually lifted her shirt to reveal her toned midsection. I froze, immediately covering my eyes with my hands. Of course, I peeked through my fingers. Why Yue? What are you doing? Put that down. But then I blurted out, wait, those are amazing. You're so lean, but your ABS are so defined. Love it. Love it. Lon, playing detective as usual, piped up, something's fishy here. How? You touched Yu's ABS, and she didn't even flinch. Isn't that weird? That's when it hit me. I turned to Yue. Hey, why didn't you stop me? Yu's response was simple. You wanted to see, so I showed you. Lon sidled up to me, whispering conspiratorially. How? I swear Yue listens to everything you say. You should test it out. See if she do something else. Intrigued, I decided to push my luck. Yue, how much money do you have? Give me all of it. Lon's jaw dropped. You can't just ask for money like that. What shocked him even more, Yue actually complied. She started digging through her pockets, pulling out cash. This is all I have on me. The rest is in my phone. My password is. Lon tackled her. Whoa. Whoa, you can't say that out loud. People will think we're shaking you down. I couldn't help but laugh. Yue, why are you so obedient? You just do whatever I ask. Her answer was innocent, almost childlike. Because we're friends, friends can't say no to each other. That stopped me in my tracks. My smile faded as I realized what was going on. Yu's skewed sense of social boundaries. Was this because of her family? I knelt down and looked her in the eyes. Yue, listen, friends are equal. You don't have to do everything someone asks. If you don't want to do something, say no. Stand your ground. Okay, she nodded, but I couldn't tell if she truly understood. Man, this is complicated. We wrapped up our training shortly after. As I strolled home alone, I suddenly stopped. The streets were eerily empty. It was too quiet. A bad feeling crept up my spine. I decided to switch routes, but before I could, a little girl appeared out of nowhere, holding a candy in her hands. Want one? She asked sweetly. Something wasn't right. I squatted down to her level. Why are you out so late, kiddo? Shouldn't you be home? She explained earnestly. I'm doing a school project. I need to give away this whole bag of candy, or my teacher won't give me a gold star. Wow, these kids today are seriously overworked. All right, I'll take one. Now hurry home. Okay, don't make your family worrying. I took the candy, unwrapped it, and popped it into my mouth. Wait, why does it taste smoky? Before I could process, everything went black. When I woke up, I was tied up on a bed. What the hell? I muttered. This can't be happening. I've been kidnapped by a gang of tough women, haven't I? Great, this is how I die, huh? Then I heard a familiar voice. I turned and saw her. Boss Wei, the little girl with the candy. Yet, she was casually puffing on a cigarette as she reported back to Boss Wei. Seriously, I glared at her. You tricked me into eating drugged candy. You know that's illegal, right? She took a drag and shot me a look. Don't let this face fool you. I'm 30, that's it. I'm done. There's no way I'm buying that. Everyone, out, Boss Wei ordered, sending her henchpeople scurrying. She turned to me, calm as ever. Be a good boy and sit tight. I'm working here. You kidnapped me and now you want me to stay quiet. What's wrong with you? Her pen froze mid-signature. She walked over to me, eyes glinting dangerously. Last time, you humiliated me and ran away. Now you're mouthing off again. Little man, do you think I won't deal with you? Whoa. Lady. Chill. You're telling me you did all this because I annoy you. And that nonsense about making me your boyfriend. Come on, be honest. You don't really have a thing for me, do you? That hit a nerve. Boss Wei stayed silent, so I pressed on. I've done my homework on you. You know, you're Boss Wei, 26 years old, CEO of Fenghong Group, national goddess, and head of the mighty Wei family. Your family used to run shady businesses, but under your leadership, you cleaned it all up and turned Fenghong into an empire. Someone like you doesn't need me. You've got all the power and resources in the world. What's the point of this game? She narrowed her eyes. You're right. You're not. How are you? Or at least, you haven't been since that day. Her words hit me like a truck. Wait, did she figure it out? Does she know I'm not from this world? I stared at her as she untied me. What's that supposed to mean? If I'm not How, then who am I? You think there's a second How running around? Boss Wei smirked. You changed too much. Too fast. I've looked into you. Want to know who you used to be? How? 17 years old. Single dad raised you. You were the perfect model beau. Obedient, polite, and trained to be the ideal soft-spoken gentleman. With your looks and brains, you were the school's #1 dreamboat. Everyone called you the adorable softie. Softie. I choked. Are you kidding me right now? Compared to that version of you, this new tough guy act doesn't add up, she continued. You're Hao on the outside, but a completely different person inside. She went in for the kill. You don't believe me? Fine. Why weren't you excited to see me? After all, you're my biggest fan. What? I froze. She handed me my phone and showed me an old post. Why is Boss Wei the most perfect woman in the world? Oh God, I was a fanboy. A Boss Wei smirked triumphantly. See, that doesn't look like something you'd say now. And don't even try the split personality excuse. Humans don't just suddenly gain skills they never had, like ranking top 100 in gaming in a month or fighting off thugs like it's nothing. You're not split, you've been replaced. A new soul in Hao's body. As I heard this, I couldn't help but laugh. That's a pretty wild theory. Do you even hear how crazy that sounds? Normal people don't think this way, unless you're a time traveler too. I squinted at Boss Wei. So what now? Gonna cut me open and study me? She didn't answer directly. My team is researching a once-in-a-century phenomenon. The blood moon. Blood moon. My brain froze. That's what brought me to this world. Boss Wei continued. Your sudden personality change. It happened right after the blood moon. That can't be a coincidence. I raised an eyebrow. And that's enough to link me to it. Seems flimsy. Boss Wei. She shrugged. If you want answers, work with us. I'll tell you everything. I hesitated. Define work with you. What does that involve? You're not gonna lock me in a lab, right? She smirked, seeing through me. Relax. No slicing or dicing. Your safety's guaranteed. She slid a contract toward me. Read it. Think it over. If you've got demands, name them. I frowned. Is anyone else studying the blood moon? Not that I know of, she replied coolly. Taking the contract, I sighed internally. Is teaming up with her a mistake? Probably. But what choice do I have? All right, Boss Wei, I'll think about it. I turned to leave. It's late. My family will worry. But before I could take 2 steps, she grabbed me and landed a solid hit on my arm. Ow. What the hell? She grinned. That's payback for messing with me last time. Back at home, I stumbled through the door. Chin was putting on shoes. How? Where were you? I was about to go out looking for you. She ran over and hugged me tightly. Sorry, Chin. Didn't mean to worry you. I mumbled awkwardly. Where's Dad and Auntie? They're asleep, but seriously, how? Why so late? I just went for a walk. Lost track of time. No way was I telling her I got kidnapped. I tried to escape to the shower, but Chin grabbed my arm. How? Were you with someone tonight? Her eyes narrowed. I smell perfume. My heart skipped a beat. Damn you, Boss Wei. I forced a laugh. What? Nah. Must have happened when I bought ice cream or something. She gently cupped my face. Just be careful, Hao. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. She finally let me go. Now go shower. Leave your clothes. I'll wash them for you. While I showered, Chin grabbed my shirt. She walked to the backyard fire pit, threw it in, and watched it burn. No other woman scent belongs on Hao. Her voice was soft, but her expression was terrifying. Meanwhile, back at Boss Wei's mansion, she handed her secretary a file. Investigate this woman, she ordered. The secretary opened the file. It was Chin, Hao's stepsister. Yes. Look into her past. Something doesn't add up. Back at my house, fresh out of the shower, I stopped dead in my tracks. There was Chin, rummaging through the fridge. Her figure, absolutely perfect. Hearing me come out, she turned and smiled. Want something to drink? Anything's fine. I mumbled, still mentally stuck on how stunning Chin looked. She handed me a bottle of milk. Hao, come to my room. I'll help you dry your hair. Sure, wait. Your room. I blinked. Why not my room? But hey, here I was. In Kin's room, I noticed her phone buzz with a notification. A wannabe Casanova had sent a message, with a photo. The guy had his shoulders bare and the audacity to flirt. Chin? Seriously, who's this creep? Chin, unfazed, handed me her phone. Just tell him I have a boyfriend. I scoffed and started typing. You really shouldn't waste time on weirdos like this. Chin beamed, suddenly hugging me. Hao, you're so protective of your sister. She turned and left for the shower, tossing back, and block him for me. Will you? As I went to block him, I saw something odd. Chin had me saved in a special contact group. The name, Angel. My brain short-circuited. Angel, Q inner monologue battle. Little devil. Bro, you see where this is going, right? This is the start of something. Little angel, stop. Kin's practically family. Don't be gross. Little devil, she's not blood related. She's perfect. Do the math. Little angel, how? Stop being a degenerate. Next morning, during class break, I sat on a bench, deep in thought. Honestly, Kin's affection for me, it was starting to feel like more than just sisterly care. Before I could figure it out, someone interrupted. Morning. How? Oh, great. It was Lin Zhang, the school's other prince. Wanna bet? Tonight. Let's see whose live stream gets more viewers and gifts. I rolled my eyes. Pass. Not interested in your childish games. Lin smirked. Scared you'll lose. I yawned. No. I'm just busy being useful. Maybe try doing your homework. His face went red. Fine. Tonight, you're going down. Before I could shut him up, Lon chimed in from nowhere. Bring it on. How's stream crush yours, dude? Lon, what have you done? Nighttime came. As always, I started my stream, playing ranked matches. The stupid bet, already forgotten. I just wanted to game. Easy MVP. My opponents were so bad it felt unfair. The chat exploded. Oh my god. How? You're a god. Kneel before the king. And then it happened. A flood of 999 yacht donations, 100,000 bucks worth of gifts. Descender? Boss way. I stared blankly. Wait, her? This couldn't be a coincidence. Was she bribing me into signing the Blood Moon contract? The terms were insane. Quitting school, moving into their research base, and canceling all my sponsorships. A literal sell your soul deal. Yeah, no thanks. I'll find a way to return the money later. Meanwhile, at Lin Zhang's house, there he was. Live streaming with cat ears on. Pathetic. When he realized I'd already crushed him, he rage quit. How? You think you're better than me? Just wait. He dialed a number. Momo, it's me. I need you to ruin someone for me. Do this right, and the cash is yours. He hung up, grinning like a villain. How? You're done for this time. I'll make sure you're completely humiliated. The next day came, and I went out to buy flowers. The decorations at home had wilted, and Chin mentioned she wanted lilac, so here I was at a small flower shop. That's when I heard two women chatting behind me. That's him. This how kid's kinda cute. Almost feel bad for messing with him. One of them snickered. I didn't need to look back to know yep. It's Momo and her little lackey. But then Momo paused. Wait, why does his back look so familiar? Her eyes widened in horror the next second. Oh no, it's him. Without another word, she whipped around and barked at her lackey. Call Boss Wei's office, now. Meanwhile, back at Fenghan Group HQ, Boss Wei's secretary entered her office, looking serious. Ma'am, we received word that a certain Lin the streamer has a grudge against Hao. He asked someone to take compromising photos of him. Boss Wei glanced up, unimpressed, and, well, he backed off when he heard how was your person. Boss Wei smirked. Good choice. Call the streaming platform and terminate Lin's contract. Handle the rest however you see fit. As for me, I returned home completely unaware that Boss Wei had just nuked another problem for me. All I could think about was those 1,000 virtual yachts. Man, the platform's gonna take half. How am I supposed to pay her back? Suddenly, my phone rang. Boss Wei. I picked up, about to ask what she wanted when. How? Who's calling? Kin's voice from behind nearly made me jump out of my skin. Out. Just some insurance scammer, I stammered, quickly hanging up, but the guilt ate at me. Was that rude? Did I just offend her? Spoiler alert, I did. Across town, Boss Wei was livid. How dare he hang up on me? I don't even remember the last time someone did that. She grabbed her phone and barked at her staff. Bring the car around, now. Back in my room, I sat on my bed, contemplating. Maybe I should call her back, apologize or something. I mean, I do need to figure out how to return that job money. Ding ding. Her name popped up on my screen again. I sighed and answered. The first thing I heard was her signature domineering voice. I'm downstairs. You can come out yourself, or I'll send 10 men to fetch you. You can't be serious, I said flatly. Just then, I heard the roar of engines outside. I walked to the window and, oh my god, an entire fleet of black Rolls-Royces lined the street below, stretching out into infinity. I grabbed my phone and yelled, Boss Wei, are you insane? This is harassment. I'll call the cops. Her voice came back, completely unfazed. Parking on a public street isn't illegal. This woman is impossible. Fine. I'll come down, okay. I threw on my shoes and told Chin, I'm just going to grab something from the convenience store. When I got outside, Boss Wei wasted no time. Besides me, who else have you pissed off lately? Excuse me? Turns out, her people spotted someone suspicious lurking nearby, watching me. They're probably up to something, she explained. Here's what we're gonna do. You lure them out, and my men will handle the rest. I blinked at her. You want me to bait a possibly armed stalker? Yeah. I don't think so. I'd rather not die today. Boss Wei rolled her eyes. Coward. With me here. You're perfectly safe. You don't want this creep following you forever, do you? Her logic was sound, but my instincts screamed otherwise. Still, I sighed in defeat. Boss Wei barked an order to her secretary. Surround the area. Don't let the suspect escape. Her secretary hesitated. Ma'am, you're going personally. Is there a problem? She replied coolly. Meanwhile, I spotted a shadowy figure emerging from a corner. Boss Wei, you might want to hurry up. This suspect looks a little impatient. I squinted at the figure. The person was wearing a mask, clearly trying to stay anonymous. The first words out of her mouth. You're dead, you little bastard. Okay, wow. Calm down. Who the hell are you? And why are you stalking me? I demanded. She didn't answer. Instead, she charged at me. Fist raised. Wham! I dodged barely. But before I could catch my breath, she came at me again. I kept weaving and ducking, staying out of her reach. Damn, lady. Take a chill pill. Her attacks were ferocious, but I noticed something. She's strong, but slow. A strategy popped into my head. When she lunged again, I smoothly sidestepped and stuck my foot out. Crash. She face-planted into the ground with a loud thud. Gotcha. I pounced and pinned her down. All right, psycho, care to explain why you're trying to kill me? The masked woman shrieked like a banshee. It's all your fault. I lost everything because of you. Ow, what? Lady, I don't even know you. I reached for her mask. Let's see who you really are. WHACK. She elbowed me hard, nearly knocking me back. Before I could react, she pulled out a knife. I'm gonna kill you, she screamed. I froze. Oh crap, she has a weapon. Just as she lunged, smash, a fist came flying out of nowhere, slamming into her face. Boss Wei. The impact knocked the woman's mask clean off. Boss Wei stood there, fists still raised. I thought you fled the province. Didn't expect you to come crawling back here. I suddenly got a good look at the attacker's face and gawked. Liu. Yep. It was Liu, the crazy gang leader. I glared at her. Seriously, I turned you down once, and you're out here trying to murder me. Liu spat back, her face twisted with rage. If you hadn't caught Boss Wei's attention, I wouldn't have been locked up. This is all your fault, you bastard. My fault. You're the one acting like a lunatic. Before we could go another round, Boss Wei stepped forward. Liu. This has nothing to do with how. You're here because you broke my rules. Liu froze. Boss Wei continued coldly. You and your gang extorted students, forced woes to serve you, and used Fenghong Group's name to terrorize people. My organization has no room for scum like you. Liu sneered, trembling with anger. What do you know? You were born at the finish line. You have nitrogen monoxide idea what I've been through. With a roar, she charged at Boss Wei, fist flying. Boss Wei didn't flinch. She casually caught Liu's punch midair. Doesn't matter how rough your life was. That's no excuse to hurt others. Bam. Boss Wei's massive fist connected squarely with Liu's chin, knocking her out cold. I stood there, jaw hanging open. One punch. She knocked her out with one punch. Then it hit me. Wait a minute. When we fought, how much was she holding back? Liu was finally hauled off by the police for attempted murder. I let out a sigh of relief. Well, that's that. Boss Wei. I'll head home now. My sister's probably worried sick. Boss Wei shot me a look of disbelief. Did you forget why I came to find you? Oh right. Why did she come again? Is this about that contract you gave me? Boss Wei sighed deeply, like a parent trying to explain math to a clueless kid. The contract, sure. But more importantly, I came to warn you. Someone's planning to take inappropriate photos of you. My jaw dropped. Seriously, Who's got that much free time? And do you really need to show up in person for this? Couldn't your secretary just text me or something? She ignored me. That's not important. What is important is, why did you hang up on me? Oh, I froze. Yeah. Maybe I had been a little rude earlier. I took a deep breath, stood up straight, and gave her a big bow. Boss Wei, I'm sorry for hanging up on you. That was wrong of me. Boss Wei raised an eyebrow, clearly surprised. Didn't expect you to be this sincere. So, are you ready for your punishment? I blinked. Punishment? What punishment? She slowly leaned closer, her hand brushing my face. This kind. Smooch, right on the lids. The next day, Yue showed up to school wearing black stockings for the first time. I caught myself staring and thought, yep, hanging out with Yue is still the least stressful thing ever. Why? You ask, because yesterday, I got kissed by Boss Wei. My brain was still reeling. What is wrong with that woman? Does she have some kind of CEO syndrome? Does she not see me as a man? But as I was about to make my move, remind her that I am a man. Kin's face suddenly popped into my mind. I froze. Reality check. I pushed Boss Wei away, wiping my lips furiously. Boss Wei, do you have some weird hobby or something? You keep kissing a high schooler. Do you know that was my first kiss? Your first. Boss Wei touched her lips with a grin. For a high schooler, you sure don't act like one. That's not the point. I snapped. Look, now we're even. About those 1,000 yachts you sent yesterday, send me your bank details. I'll refund the money. Boss Wei huffed, clearly unimpressed. A little pocket change. You think I care about that? What? You trying to cut ties with me now? And about that contract, you're not signing it. Yeah, not for now, I said firmly. And why not? That's a long story. Let's just say I've got my reasons. I waved her off and started walking. We'll talk about it another time. Bye. Back at home, I laid on my bed, my mind replaying what had just happened. Why was I thinking about Chin while I was with Boss Wei? Could it be I have feelings for her? Shaking my head furiously, I slapped my cheeks. Get it together. How? What are you even thinking? Focus. I buried myself under the covers. Better sleep early. School tomorrow. The next morning, I ran into Yue on the way to school. Morning. Yue, I greeted her cheerfully. Yue smiled back politely. Good morning. How? Now this is what a normal girl should act like. Spending a whole day with that domineering Boss Wei had been exhausting. Yue, on the other hand, was like a breath of fresh air. But then, I noticed something. Yue was wearing black stockings. Wait, wasn't she always in white? I froze for a moment, staring absent-mindedly until Yue tilted her head and called my name. How? I snapped out of it, embarrassed. Oh. I have a gift for you. Digging through my backpack, I pulled out a keychain. I just wanted to thank you for teaching me those fighting techniques. I noticed you really like guns. So, here. Yue took the keychain and smiled. Thank you. How? I really like it. I'll cherish it. I scratched my head awkwardly. As long as you like it. But deep down, my thoughts were spiraling again. How is it that a simple change in stockings makes such a difference? During lunch break, Yue and I were in the piano room, eating together. Yue kept staring at her legs the entire time, and it made me curious. What's up? Why do you keep looking at your legs? She looked up innocently. Because you looked at them a lot today. I wanted to see what's so special about them. I choked on my food, coughing violently. What? Was it that obvious? Caught red-handed, I decided to own up to it. Well, Yue, your legs are nice. Okay, really nice. Yue blinked at me, seemingly unfazed. She raised her wrist, and I noticed something. Wait, that's the keychain I gave you. Why are you wearing it like a bracelet? She held it up with a small smile. It's my first gift from a friend. I want to keep it close to me. I frowned slightly. Wait, you've never received gifts from friends before. Yu's smile faded as she lowered her head. No, they never gave me anything. They just asked me for money. Hearing this, I gently patted her head. Those people weren't real friends. Yue, don't waste your time on them anymore. Yuan didn't ask you for money. Did she? Yue shook her head. No, but she gave me lots of strange books and movies. I didn't read or watch them. Though, you told me not to. Good. I nodded approvingly. Yuan, huh? Still staying true to her legendary character. Anyway, why don't you hang the keychain on your bag? I'll get you another one to wear as a bracelet. Yue nodded happily. Okay. After lunch, we headed back to class. I pulled out my textbook, ready for the next lesson, but as I did, something strange fell out of my desk. What the heck is this? Before I could grab it, a hand swooped in faster than me. It was none other than Green Hair. He snatched it up and proudly held it over his head. How could you bring something like this to school? That's so inappropriate, he shouted. I was frozen on the spot. What was this guy even talking about? Then, the other boys who never liked me chimed in. Look at him pretending to be all innocent. Turns out he's just a dirty little fake. He's not as pure as he looks. Bet he's hiding a whole stash of this stuff. Their nonsense was so ridiculous it left me speechless. Before I could respond, one of the girls snapped back. What's wrong with you guys? How isn't like that? Stop jumping to conclusions, I sigh, completely done with this circus. These idiots had pushed me far enough. I slammed a stack of love letters onto my desk, glaring at them. Take a good look, morons. Everything in this desk was stuffed in here by someone else, including that trash you're holding. Quit shoving your filthy assumptions on me, or I'll shove that thing right down your throat. My glare and threat must have hit the mark because the guys froze, their faces pale as ghosts. Without another word, they scattered like cockroaches. Yue walked over, her eyes filled with concern. How? Are you okay? Long, on the other hand, was furious. Who's the sicko trying to frame you like this? Even my two little fangirls chimed in. How? We know you're innocent. Don't let this bother you. As they comforted me, I noticed a shadow lurking by the door. Someone was watching. Before I could make out who it was, the figure disappeared, but things didn't end there. The next day, another one of those disgusting items showed up in my desk. Whoever this is, they're seriously messed up, I muttered, tossing it straight into the trash. But then came day 3. Yup, same thing, another gift. By day 4, I was ready to lose it. I kicked the trash can across the room in frustration. What is this? A wholesale business, I shouted during break. Long filled me in. How? People are talking about this all over school. Who the heck is trying to ruin you? I threw my hands up. How would I know? Whoever it is, they're spending way too much time and money on this crap. Long frowned. We've got to do something about this. We can't just let it keep happening. Don't worry, I said, smirking. I've already got a plan. What plan? I need you's help for this one. Trust me. Later, during break, I found Yue and explained my idea. She listened quietly and nodded. I'll get the supplies sent over right away. My butler will have them ready by this evening. Perfect, I said, relieved. This ends tomorrow. Night fell, and the school was empty. In a dark, abandoned classroom, 3 figures huddled together, whispering and fiddling with some equipment. It was me, Lon, and Yue. With this setup, we'll definitely catch that creep red-handed. I grinned. The next morning arrived. The school was still quiet, barely a soul in sight. Suddenly, a shadow crept into our classroom. The figure stopped at my desk. Just as their hand reached out, beep, beep, beep. A shrill alarm echoed through the room, and a glowing red laser caught the culprit in action. At the same time, a hand shot out, holding up a phone to record every second of this glorious moment. The light fell on the guy's face, and that little tuft of red hair gave him away. It was Lin, the so-called other school prince. I smirked. Wow. Lin, you sure are dedicated, huh? How much did this crap cost you? Since you spent so much on it, why don't you keep it for yourself? I picked up the mystery item and chucked it right at Lin's face. Lin staggered back, gritting his teeth. How did you figure it out? I shrugged, looking way too relaxed. Oh, just a high-tech anti-theft system. You should have thought twice before stuffing my desk full of garbage. I cracked my knuckles. Now, let's go. You can explain all this to the teacher. Lin froze. Panic washed over his face. Don't let him leave, he screamed toward the door. And then, from behind me, appeared. Back up. Lin had called for reinforcements. 4 fashionably dressed delinquent girls strutted in. And judging by their vibes, they looked like they were ready to throw hands. Lin pointed at me like a villain in a bad movie. drag him to the bathroom. The 4 girls charge me all at once. Seriously, you brought your fan club, this doesn't look good. But before they could grab me, I sprang forward because the best defense is a good offense. Wham! My fist met yellow hair's jaw, sending her spinning. Then, as another girl swung her punch, I ducked, twisted, and smacked her across the face. But just as I fended off 2 of them, the 3rd girl leapt in. Crack! A brutal kick sent me flying backwards, skidding a few meters before I could stop myself. Damn, their strength was no joke. 1 or 2 I could handle, but 4 I was toast. That's when Yue arrived. She stepped into the school, saw me getting ganged up on, and her face twisted into pure rage. Her voice was ice cold. You dare touch my man, you're dead. The 2 delinquents froze in place, visibly terrified. Yue, don't. I tried to stop her, but Yue was already a blur of motion. Smack, bam, crunch. In a heartbeat, 2 girls were down. Yue shot forward, jumped over yellow hair, and WHAM. Her knee collided with yellow hair's nose. Blood spray everywhere. Yellow hair hit the ground, motionless. Yue turned her head slowly, locking eyes with the last girl orange jacket. The poor girl trembled like a leaf, backing away, but Yue wasn't done. She strode forward, grabbed orange jacket by the throat, and lifted her clean off the ground. Anyone who hurts How dies. Yu's voice was cold and merciless. Orange jacket gasped, her voice barely a whisper. I give up. But Yue didn't stop. Her grip tightened. Her eyes were wild. I sprinted over, grabbing Yu's arm. Yue, stop, that's enough. You'll make things worse. It wasn't long before 2 teachers stormed onto the scene. What are you doing? Stop this right now. The chaos came to an abrupt halt. I let out a deep sigh. Well, so much for keeping this quiet. The incident quickly spread across the school, and by the afternoon, the announcement came through the intercom. High School Year 2, class for student Lin, is being reprimanded for attempting to slander Class 3 student Hao. Additionally, Class 3 student Yue has been reprimanded for engaging in a fight. Hearing the broadcast, Lon and I sat quietly, staring out the window. Soon after, we saw Yue being taken away by her family. Lon leaned closer, whispering with concern. How do you think Yue will be okay? I heard 2 of those girls were sent to the hospital. I frowned. This situation definitely didn't look good. Yu's family is super strict, getting taken back home like this. I really hope it doesn't get too bad. That evening, back at home, I stumbled through the door, soaked from head to toe. The heavy rain had drenched me completely during my rush back. Look at you, soaking wet, you'll catch a cold. My dad grumbled as he tossed me a towel. I snatched it, muttering, I'm fine, before bolting upstairs to my room. Once inside my room, I grabbed my phone. Still no word from Yue. I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling, so I dialed her number. After a few rings, she picked up, but something was off. The moment Yue spoke, her voice cracked like she'd been crying. Yue, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Between sniffles, she whispered, it's dark here. How? I'm scared. I froze. What do you mean? Didn't you go home? I did. But my mom locked me in the punishment room, she said softly, her voice trembling with fear. Punishment room? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Wait. Seriously, you're locked up in there? Why? Yue sighed, sounding even smaller. Whenever I make a mistake, Mom makes me reflect in this room. It's pitch black. I have to stay for 2 days before she lets me out. It's so dark. How I hate it here. I clenched my fists, feeling both angry and helpless. I'm here. Yue, I'll keep you company. Okay, let's talk about something, anything. What do you want to chat about? Her voice trembled again. How? Can you stay on the phone with me tonight? Please don't hang up, right then. I sneezed. Damn it. Must have caught a cold. Don't worry, tomorrow's the weekend anyway. I'll keep you company all night. I'll even tell you the story of the novel I'm writing. If you don't hear me, it just means I fell asleep. Okay. A faint, grateful smile seemed to sneak into her voice. Okay. All right, I'm starting now. The novel I'm writing now is called A Real Man's World. In that world, all the men are built like tanks. Six-pack ABS, that's just basic equipment. Every guy has them. Hard labor, like bricklaying or carrying stuff, is all done by men, as they're the breadwinners. The protagonist is a reincarnated cultivator, carrying a deep grudge for his fallen clan. He levels up through battles, defeating monsters and meeting all sorts of cute and beautiful ladies along the way. Of course, they're all drawn to his incredible strength, and his good looks don't hurt either. It's basically the opposite of our world. Hearing that, Yue burst out laughing, her voice finally lighter. How? Your novel is so unrealistic. Men aren't strong enough to carry bricks. In reality, women are the powerful ones. It should be women saving the world. I smiled faintly. Yeah, the world has changed. As I mused about this upside-down setting, Yue suddenly asked, "Can your novel accept gifts?" I like the idea. I want to check out novels like that and maybe send you some free little red flowers or whatever gifts they have. I grinned. If you're happy, then sure. Just leave a few comments after reading. That'll make me happy enough. Are you still scared? I asked gently. Why don't you tell me about something you like to do? Yu's voice softened. Not so scared anymore. We kept talking, letting the rain outside fade into silence. Eventually, neither of us knew when we had fallen asleep. The next morning, when I woke up, my head throbbed like crazy. My body felt heavy, and, wait a minute. Why is there a damp towel on my forehead? I blinked and saw Chin sitting beside me. Chin, why are you here? I asked grudgingly. She smiled gently. I came to call you for breakfast, but then I saw you had a fever. Now that you're awake, take your medicine. Okay, my head dropped back onto the pillow. How did I get so weak? I just got caught in a bit of rain, and I'm already sick like this. Hearing that, Kin's smile turned playful, almost teasing. Well then, how about this? Should your big sister feed you the medicine herself? That shocked me awake. My eyes flew shut as I muttered, Nope. Nope. Absolutely not. We're siblings. When I peeked my eyes open again, Chin was staring at me, completely puzzled. No pills in her mouth. No weird antics. How? What's wrong? You said you're weak. I'm just helping you sit up to take your medicine. I froze, feeling my entire soul leave my body. Did I just imagine that? Was I dreaming? Embarrassed beyond belief, I let Chin help me sit up and quietly swallowed the medicine she handed over. I avoided eye contact, hoping to crawl into a hole and die. Chin, however, seemed to misunderstand my awkwardness. Her eyes flickered with concern and a bit of guilt. Does Hao suspect something? After taking the medicine, Chin handed me a bowl of porridge. Drink this while it's still warm, she said gently, blowing on the porridge to cool it down. I stared at her for a moment. Is this what all big sisters do? I thought. And we're not even blood related. Kin's care was starting to feel a little too perfect. Chin, why are you so good to me? I blurted out. You're treating me better than some people treat their real brothers. Chin froze for a second, her smile faltering ever so slightly. Did he figure something out? She wondered nervously, but then she quickly recovered and replied with her usual calm, because you deserve it. How? If you want, I can take care of you for the rest of your life. I froze. Wait. What? My brain short-circuited. Did she just propose? I quickly grabbed the bowl. Chin, I can drink it myself, I stammered, trying to regain my composure. Maybe I was just overthinking things. Kin's face still looked perfectly calm and natural, so it was probably just my imagination, right? After finishing the porridge, I insisted, Chin, you should go take care of your own stuff. I'll just rest, and I'll be fine after a nap. But Chin shook her head. No way. How? You're sick, and I don't feel like doing anything else if you're not okay. I'll stay right here. Reluctantly, I lay back down. Sure, it felt a little weird, but having Chin nearby was strangely comforting. Almost too comforting. The problem, who could possibly sleep with such a beautiful, caring Chin sitting right there? Apparently, within 5 minutes, I was out cold, snoring softly. Chin looked at me with a mixture of relief and sadness. He trusts me now, she thought. He couldn't even fall asleep around me before. But things are different now. Her voice dropped to a whisper as she gently brushed the hair from my forehead. How? You don't remember, but we knew each other when we were kids. I just don't know how to tell you. What if you hate me again? She sighed softly. What should I do? How? How can I make things right? Cut to Boss Wei's mansion. Boss Wei sat elegantly on her plush sofa, her thoughts completely consumed by him. That kiss, she smirked at the memory. All because he looked so flustered and soft when I teased him. How ridiculous. But then she frowned, and no at herself. Still, there's something about him. That confidence, that stubborn streak, he's not like the clingy, desperate types out there. Her hand subconsciously moved to her chin. Wait. Why are you always thinking about him? Don't tell me you've actually fallen for that little guy. Meanwhile, back at my place, I was resting in bed, recovering from my cold when ring. The sudden phone call startled me awake. Groaning, I grabbed my phone and answered, my voice full of irritation. Who the heck is calling at this hour? Say something, or I'm hanging up. There was silence for a moment before a familiar, calm voice came through. It's me, Boss Wei. I sat up, confused and annoyed. Boss Wei. What now? Is someone after me again? Cut back to Boss Wei, sitting expressionless on the sofa. No, I just couldn't sleep. So, I called you. My jaw dropped. Did she seriously just say that? Wait, you can't sleep, so you decide to harass me. Do you had any idea what time it is? It's 2 a.m. What do you expect me to do? Tell you a bedtime story? Boss Wei's brows twitched at my sarcasm. Watch your tone. Remember who you're speaking to. I'm not just anyone, and you're, well, you. There it is again, the queen attitude. Right? Because waking up a sick high schooler in the middle of the night is totally something a classy CEO does. I shot back. What do you want this time? Boss Wei ignored my complaints and asked, your fighting skills, did you learn them from UA? I stiffened. How does she know about that? You're spying on me again, aren't you? Boss Wei took a slow drag of her cigarette, sounding completely unimpressed. Relax, usabilities are average at best. With proper training, though, you could be exceptional. If you join me, I can provide you with world-class instructors. You'd be at the top in no time, a perfect bodyguard. I nearly choked. First you want me to be a celebrity, and now bodyguard? What's next? Your personal chauffeur? No thanks, I'm not interested. I rubbed my forehead, exasperated. Look, just stop calling me, alright? I'm trying to live a normal life here, call me again, and I'm changing my number. With that, I hung up. Back at the mansion, Boss Wei stared at her phone screen, her lips curling into a faint, amused smile. That's the second time he's hung up on me, she muttered to herself. Then, as if to no one in particular, she added, such a bold little man. I'm starting to like you more and more. The next morning, I woke up and got dressed. As I glanced to the side, I noticed a small note. If you go to the bathroom at night, don't forget to wear your jacket. I chuckled softly. Chin really treats me like a child, huh? I thought, feeling a mix of warmth and embarrassment. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Chin poked her head inside. How? You're up. Come help your sister choose an outfit, she said cheerfully. She held up 2 dresses for me to see. But whoa, Kin's current attire left me completely unprepared. Yeah, you're walking around like this, I stammered, struggling to keep my composure. Thank goodness, have strong willpower, I thought. Anyone else would have had a nosebleed by now. I cleared my throat to hide my awkwardness and pointed at the red dress. That one. It'll look great on you. Then red it is, Chin said, turning to head back and change. But as she turned, I caught a glimpse of something on her back, a tattoo. Wait, Chin has a tattoo. I blinked in surprise. And more importantly, why does it look so familiar? Cut to later that day. Chin was heading out to visit a research center. Before leaving, she reminded me to rest at home. Take care of yourself while I'm gone. How? She said, giving me one last gentle look. After she left, I plopped down on a chair and let out a sigh. Sure, this world was great, but I still missed my old one, my family. My friends, I couldn't stop thinking about them. I had been trying to save money to find a way back. Streaming, tried it. Writing novels, also try. But what other fast ways to make money were there? Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. Wait a minute, didn't I report Liu Crossing, that thug leader? The police mentioned a $5,000 reward for bravery. With nothing better to do, I decided to check on it. Cut to the police station. A cheerful policewoman greeted me. Oh, it's you, the little handsome guy. I remember you. I explained my reason for coming. I wanted to check on that reward for reporting Liu Crossing. She nodded. The reward's still available. But you're still in high school, aren't you? You'll need to process some paperwork first. It might take a month to finalize. I handed her my ID, but I'm already of legal age. Can't you just give me the cash directly? The policewoman wagged her finger playfully. Rules are rules. The person providing the reward insisted on these procedures. I froze. Wait, providing. So the reward isn't from the police? Exactly, she replied. And I can't reveal their identity for privacy reasons. But you just said it wasn't confidential. Can you tell me who it is so I can speak to them directly? The officer gave me a sly smile. Fine. But this is all I'll say. Go to Fenghan Group and ask for the boss. That's all I can tell you. My jaw dropped. Are you serious? You call this protecting someone's privacy? You practically handed me Boss Wei's address. Meanwhile, at Fenghan Group, Boss Wei received a call from the policewoman. Boss Wei, I've sent Hao your way. He'll come to Fenghan Group to see you. After hanging up, a victorious smile crept across Boss Wei's face. Yesterday he hung up on me, and now he's coming to me on his own. Hey, you can't escape me. Little man, cut back to me, standing awkwardly in front of Fenghan Group skyscraper. I stared up at the building and sighed. Last night, I said I wanted to keep my distance from her. And now here I am, asking for money. I slapped my forehead. This is so embarrassing. Still, I had no choice. Bracing myself, I walked toward the entrance. I entered the lobby and headed straight for the elevator. Excuse me, how do I get to the top floor? I asked a stunning white-collar lady, making up a lie about visiting a relative. Her eyes lit up the moment she saw me. Oh my, who is this cutie? She whispered with excitement. Are you here to see your daddy? What's his name? He might be one of my bosses, she teased, flashing me a playful smile. This elevator will take you straight up, she added. I hurried into the elevator, clarifying, I'm not here to see my dad. You probably don't know my relative anyway. That's fair, she giggled. There are a lot of people in this company I don't know, either. Just when I thought she'd dropped the subject, the woman suddenly pinned me against the wall, a full-on elevator wall slam. Little brother, you're still a student, right? What school do you go to? She cooed, leaning closer. With that face, I bet you're the school heartthrob. I was completely caught off guard. Before I could respond, the elevator doors dinged open. Finally, I quickly ducked out of her grip. Ow. Thanks for showing me the way. I've got to go now. But she grabbed my hand and pulled me into another wall slam. Little brother, I'm serious. I really like you. I never believed in love at first sight, but now I do. Her voice dropped to a soft, dramatic tone. You're the one. I can't imagine loving anyone else. Please, just give me a chance. Bang. A fist slammed into the elevator panel with a loud thud. Cutting her off mid-confession, we both jumped in shock as a tall, imposing figure appeared. Boss Wei. The white-collar lady paled instantly. You can leave now, Boss Wei said coldly, her eyes sharp as knives. You're fired. The woman fell to her knees, trembling. Boss Wei, what did I do wrong? Please don't fire me. I quickly stepped forward, trying to calm the situation. Hey, she didn't do anything. You can't just fire her out of nowhere. Boss Wei glanced at me, a dangerous smile curling on her lips. Are you pleading for her? Little man. The woman broke into sobs, begging for forgiveness. Boss Wei, I swear I'll never talk to anyone like that again. I sighed, helping her to her feet. Come on, get up. Didn't anyone tell you? Kneeling's not worth it. Find another job. It's not the end of the world. The woman shook her head desperately. If people hear I was fired by Boss Wei, no one will ever hire me again. I froze. Wait. What? I turned to Boss Wei, stunned. Just how powerful is she? Before I could process it, Boss Wei grabbed my wrist and snarled. Come with me. Hey, don't shout at me like that. What is this? Another CEO power trip? I snapped. Inside Boss Wei's office, she dragged me inside, and you guessed it, pinned me against the wall again. I'm getting really tired of being wall-slammed today. You've got some nerve, she growled. Flirting with other women right in front of me. Do you have a death wish? Excuse me. I barked back. Which eye of yours saw me flirting? I was just helping her up. I shoved her hand away and glared at her. And for the record, she was being nice. She showed me the way to the top floor and said a few words. Big deal. You firing her was totally uncalled for. Boss Wei narrowed her eyes and leaned closer. Oh. Then tell me, what did she say to you? Annoyed. I collapsed onto her office sofa. Geez, aren't you being a little too nosy? It's none of your business, we were just chatting. Okay, relax. Bosway glared daggers at me. Clearly furious, she walked over to her desk and leaned against it, her posture both intimidating and dangerously alluring. Damn. I looked away, trying to suppress my wandering thoughts. Say what you will about her personality, but Bosway's figure is no joke. Her long legs, clad in sleek black stockings, seem to go on forever, and she fights like a beast too. Does she have time to work out every day, or something? Still, one question lingered in my mind. Doesn't she worry about wardrobe malfunctions, wearing something like that? At that moment, Bosway noticed me staring. Caught red-handed, I couldn't help but feel a bit awkward. The Bosway didn't seem to mind at all. Instead, she smirked and casually crossed her legs, making her already imposing presence even more noticeable. Little man, if you really want to help that white-collar woman, Bosway said, her voice full of playful challenge, then let's play a little game. I'll toss this cigarette into the air, and whoever catches it first wins. If you win, she can stay in the company. I didn't even wait to hear what would happen if I lost. Deal, I replied confidently, rolling up my sleeves. When it came to brute strength, I didn't stand a chance against her. But reflexes and agility, I had that covered. Bosway's eyes widened as I rolled up my sleeves. The cigarette slipped from her fingers in surprise. Wait, you're cheating, I shouted instinctively. You didn't even say ready, set, go. But as soon as I realized the cigarette was falling, I sprang forward. Bosway quickly snapped out of it and lunged at the same time, but I was just a hair faster. Grinning triumphantly, I held up the cigarette. Got it, I win. Before I could celebrate too long, Bosway tackled me onto the sofa, knocking the wind out of me. Seriously, did you have to go that far? I muttered, pinned beneath her. Bosway propped herself up on the sofa, smirking down at me. Not bad. Little man. You're quicker than you look, I scowled, muttering under my breath, I swear this woman just looks for excuses to take advantage of me. Not that I had much to complain about, I mean, I did win. And well, I might have accidentally touched her leg, too. Bosway narrowed her eyes, catching me mid-thought. You little perv. Don't you have any shame? Rolling up your sleeves and grabbing someone's leg, what kind of behavior is that? I froze. Right, in this world, a guy rolling up his sleeves is like a girl giving a flirtatious wink. Ow, my bad, I didn't mean it that way. But I did win fair and square, I added quickly, holding up the cigarette. You can't fire that white-collar lady now. Bosway got up, finally letting me breathe. Fine, I'll keep her. But you, she smirked again. You're the most interesting man I'd ever met. You're not like those other flashy little things. I scratched the back of my head, suddenly flustered. Thanks, I guess. But you don't need to butter me up. Just give me that 50,000 yuan reward and I'll be on my way. Before she could respond, Bosway suddenly bolted toward the door. I need to use the restroom. I stared after her, baffled. What's up with her? Does she think running off like that won't look suspicious? Meanwhile, my phone started ringing. I pulled it out to see Kin's name flashing on the screen. Hey, Chin, I answered, trying to sound casual. How? Where are you? She asked suspiciously. You're not at home. I'm at Lon's house, helping him with homework. I lied smoothly. I'll be home soon, don't worry. Chin let out a soft sigh. All right, but don't overdo it. Okay, you're still recovering. I've got a class reunion tonight, so I'll be back late. Got it, have fun, I replied, letting out a relieved breath when she hung up. Scene transition. Kin's reunion. Chin arrived at the venue, chatting with a friend as they entered. Her friend trailed behind, catching a glimpse of a tattoo on Kin's waist. Chin. What's that tattoo? It looks pretty cool. Chin paused for a moment before replying softly, it's a name, a very, very important name. Back in Bosway's office, I set my phone down and glanced at the cigarette, the game's trophy, still lying on the sofa. Curiosity got the better of me, and I picked up a lighter to test the smell. I took a quick sniff. Wow, high-end stuff. No wonder she's a CEO. I couldn't help but smirk. Bosway might be a walking cliché with her CEO games, but at least she's got good taste in smokes. As I admired the lingering scent of the luxury cigarette, I heard footsteps approaching. Looking up, I saw Boss Wei returning drenched and dressed in a fresh outfit. For a brief moment, I was stunned. Post-shower Boss Wei radiated an undeniable feminine charm, a softer version of the usual CEO from hell. Not that she isn't drop-dead gorgeous even in her bossy mode. Spotting the cigarette in my hand, Boss Wei's face turned serious. What are you doing with that? Kids like you shouldn't be messing with cigarettes. Here we go again, that infamous CEO control freak streak. Just like that, the alluring post-shower charm evaporated. Relax, I replied lazily, twirling the cigarette. I didn't smoke it, I just lit it to see what it smelled like. Why did you change your clothes just to go to the bathroom? What exactly were you doing in there? Hot. To my surprise, Boss Wei didn't deny my teasing. Instead, she smirked and shot back. I'm a normal woman, you know. Don't go tempting me so casually, I can't always resist you. Her straightforward words hit me like a truck. My face heated up. Ahem, let's not go there. Okay? Look, I'm here for my 50,000 yuan reward. Hand it over so I can get out of here before something else happens. Boss Wei's expression darkened as she crossed her arms and leaned against the desk. About that reward, I think we might have a problem. My brows furrowed. What problem? That cigarette you just lit, she said, voice laced with amusement. It's a special edition. Each one costs 60,000 yuan on the market. Technically, you owe me 10,000 now. I froze. My jaw dropped. Wait, what? A single cigarette costs 60 grand. Are you out of your mind? You might as well be robbing people. Boss Wei shrugged nonchalantly. If you don't believe me, look it up. Seeing the dead serious look on her face, I faltered. She's joking, right? But something told me she wasn't. This is insane, I muttered. Collapsing onto the couch, I came all this way for my 50,000 yuan, only to get scammed into owing her money. Seeing my panicked expression, Boss Wei burst out laughing, a rare sound that filled the room. I shot to my feet, hands on my hips, fuming. What the hell, are you messing with me right now? Boss Wei pulled a paper bag out of her desk drawer and set it in front of me. The cigarette's price is real, but I was just joking about you paying me back. I wouldn't do that to you. Courier 50,000 yuan is inside. Relieved, I grabbed the bag and peeked inside. Everything was in order. HMPH, you know, for someone with CEO syndrome and a terrible temper, at least you're trustworthy. Boss Wei raised an eyebrow, amused. Thanks for this, I added, giving her a quick nod. Let's just call it even for everything that's happened so far. And for both our sakes, let's keep our distance. All right, you stick to running your empire, and I'll go back to being a normal high school student. Everyone's happier that way. With that, I turned to leave. Pausing at the door, I glanced back and smirked. Oh, and one last thing, dry your hair properly. I just recovered from a cold. Don't go catching one yourself. Boss Wei blinked, slightly stunned, as I walked out. Little brat, she muttered under her breath, a faint smile curling on her lips. Always leaving with the last word, aren't you? As I waited for the elevator, I couldn't help but think about what had happened earlier. This Boss Wei really has a twisted sense of control. I can't even casually talk to a woman without her going full possessive mode. If she actually ends up liking me, my days are as good as doomed. Good thing I cut ties with her. For now, cut to Boss Wei's office. Meanwhile, back in her office, Boss Wei lit another of her ridiculously expensive 60 yuan cigarettes. Smoke curled lazily into the air as she stared at the city skyline. Humph, she smirked to herself, that little man thinks he can just write me off. Cute. Once I've got you in my grasp, there's no escape. Evening scene. At my house, the day quickly slipped into evening. I opened the door to my house, and the sight of Chin and a guest greeted me. Chin had brought a friend home. Her friend held a thick photo album, flipping through it curiously. No wonder you rush home from work every day. Chin, you've got a whole show to prints waiting for you. Who's this handsome beau? Kin's face softened as she glanced at the photos, smiling indulgently. This is my little brother, Hao. We've actually known each other since we were kids. Her friend's eyes widened. You've got a whole collection of his photos. From baby to grown-up, it's basically a full-on growth documentary. Kin's cheeks flushed pink. This is my treasure. And now that we're family, I don't have to sneak any more photos. I walk in. Just then, I pushed open the door and walked in. Chin, didn't you say you'd be home late? Oh, you've got a guest. Hello there, your Kin's friend, right? What are you looking at? Kin's expression froze. Oh no, she panicked internally. He mustn't see the album. Her friend opened her mouth to answer innocently, but Kin's hand discreetly pinched her waist mid-sentence. Ooh, how? Kin's friend winced, her back going stiff. I raised a brow, confused. What's wrong, you okay? Kin's death glare shot daggers at her friend, who immediately caught on. Cough, cough. Chin cleared her throat, forcing a smile. Oh, how? My classmate Hui and I were just looking through some research materials. Right, Hui? Kin's eyes flicked to her friend, who quickly hid the album behind her back and nodded furiously. Why, yeah, totally. Research materials. Curiosity takes over. I squinted at them suspiciously. Research materials? What kind of research comes in a giant book like that? Kin's face stiffened. Seeing that my curiosity had been sparked, she thought fast and tripped. Chin let out a small yelp as she stumbled forward. Chin. I sprang forward and caught her before she could hit the floor. You okay? Kin's expression softened as she feigned innocence. I'm fine. How? Thanks for catching me. But really, what were you doing outside? You're supposed to be resting. Are you ignoring what I say now? I rubbed the back of my neck sheepishly. And no, I just felt bored being cooped up at home, so I went for a walk. Like I could tell her I was out collecting my reward from a psycho CEO. Chin pouted, then pinched my cheek playfully. How? Do you even realize how dangerous that face of yours is? You've got a look that could ruin nations, you know? What if you run into some delinquent girl out there? I chuckled and rubbed my slightly sore cheek. Don't worry, Chin. I'll make sure to protect myself. Anyway, I'm heading back to my room to rest now. I'll let you two continue your research. As Tua followed Chin to the door, she couldn't help but ask, Hey, what's with all the secrecy? Why are you hiding that photo album from your brother? Can't he see it? Kin's expression immediately turned cold. That's none of your business, and don't even think about getting any ideas about my brother. If you do, we're no longer friends. Seeing her usually calm friend so serious, Hua blinked and raised her hands in surrender. All right, I won't ask anymore. Geez. Upstairs, my perspective, back in my room, I opened the window to let in some fresh air. But something immediately caught my eye, a figure loitering suspiciously outside. What the heck? I thought, narrowing my eyes. Am I being stalked again? I squinted harder. It was a guy. Wait, had my charm evolved to attract both genders now? Was I that ridiculously good looking? Deciding it was better to be cautious, I headed downstairs to tell Chin, in the living room. When I reached the living room, Chin was already by the door, seeing Hui off. Chin, Hui is leaving so soon? I asked. She's got some errands to run, Chin replied with a smile. But what are you doing up? I thought you were resting. I frowned and scratched my head. Well, I saw this creepy guy outside my window. He looked like a total stalker. Chin, you should be careful when you go to work. Who knows what kind of weirdo he is? Hearing my concern, Kin's face lit up as she reached out to ruffle my hair. How? Are you worried about your sister? That's so sweet of you. She smiled warmly before explaining. Don't worry. How? That's just one of my suitors. You've seen him before, remember, that guy who sent me those questionable pictures? Oh, I winced as the memory resurfaced. Wait, you mean that exhibitionist dude? Chin, that guy's a total psycho. What if he's dangerous? Chin sighed heavily, looking genuinely frustrated. I know, how? Believe me, I'm sick of dealing with him too. Seeing her so exasperated, I hesitated before asking, is there anything I can do to help you? Chin turned to look at me, her expression softening into a playful smile. Well, since you're offering, why don't you let me lean on you for a bit? Your sister's really tired. Her words made my cheeks burn instantly. Does she have no idea how defenseless she's being right now? Kin's hand brushed against my face as she leaned in slightly. How? Why is your face so red? Are you okay? Panicking, I quickly moved a few steps away. It's nothing. I was thinking I might not need to take another day off. I can probably go back to school tomorrow. Chin narrowed her eyes, crossing her arms in mock suspicion. How? Are you in such a hurry to go back? Don't tell me you've got a girlfriend at school. Her sudden shift in tone startled me, and I waved my hands defensively. What? No way. I'm not dating anyone. Chin, I swear. Hearing my frantic denial, Kin's expression softened again. She wrapped her arms around me, a tight hug, pressing her cheek against my head. How? You'd better not lie to your sister. Okay, you're just so good looking. It's hard not to worry. I just want to keep you all to myself forever. I looked up at her in confusion. What did you say? Chin smiled faintly, brushing it off. Nothing. How? If you really want to go back to school, then I'll drive you tomorrow. Okay. The next morning, Chin drove me to school early in the morning. As she stopped the car at the school gate, she looked at me with concern. How? Your cold isn't fully better yet, she said gently. Stay indoors as much as you can. Okay. Don't go running around outside in the wind. Got it, Chin. I'll be fine. I reassured her, waving as I hopped out of the car. After saying goodbye, I headed towards the classroom. In the hallway, on the way, I ran into Long, who I hadn't seen in a few days. He gave me a small wave and leaned in with a conspiratorial whisper. How? I need to tell you something. Yue seems to be getting pushed away by the others lately. Ever since that incident with Lin, I frowned. What incident? Long sigh. Those guys Lin brought to fight. Yue beat them so badly they ended up in the hospital. Now everyone thinks she's dangerous and is avoiding her like the plague. Hearing this, I felt a pang of guilt. So Yu's getting shunned because of something I was involved in. Don't worry, I said firmly. I'll go check on her. In the classroom, when I walked into class, I spotted Yue sitting quietly in her seat. I went over and greeted her with a smile. Hey, Yue. She looked up, surprised. How? I scratched the back of my head awkwardly. I wanted to say sorry about what happened. You kinda got dragged into the mess because of me. Next time, let's try to go a bit easier on people. Okay. Yue lowered her gaze, her voice soft. Everyone's scared of me now. How? Are you afraid of me too? I didn't reply with words. Instead, I reached out and patted her head gently. You're so obedient and sweet. Yue, why would I be scared of you? Her face lit up instantly with a bright smile. As long as you're not afraid of me. How? Then nothing else matters. The sound of the first bell ringing broke the moment. I smiled and pulled back. All right. Class is starting. I'll see you at lunch. Okay. Okay. She replied cheerfully. The class whispers. As I walked back to my seat, I could hear whispers breaking out around the room. Did you see that? Yue might be a violent maniac, but she's totally won over. She's so lucky. If getting the school heartthrob's attention means getting isolated, sign me up. Time shift to 12 o'clock noon. Yue and I found ourselves back in the piano room, ready to eat lunch together. As I unwrapped my meager steamed buns, Yue opened her bento box. The sight nearly blinded me. Her lunch was insanely luxurious, a colorful array of dishes that made my plain buns look like peasant food. How? Do you want some of my? Yue offered, holding her bento out to me. I nearly drooled. Yue, your family's cook must be amazing. They make you such fancy lunches every day. Without waiting for her to answer, I reached straight into her bento and grabbed a piece of food with my hand. How? Yue said softly, glancing at my hand. I paused mid-bite, confused. What's wrong with my hand? Yu's face turned red as she mumbled. Can I touch your hand? I nearly choked on my food. Hold up. I thought, isn't this world's view on hands the same as thighs for girls? Yue, who taught you to say that? I asked, flustered. She shook her head earnestly. No one. I just looked at it and wanted to touch it. There was an awkward silence. Finally, I sighed and stretched my hand out toward her. All right, fine. But if you said that to Long, he'd scream and call you a pervert. Yue gently took my hand and held it for a moment. Her face was still a little red. As if unsure what she was feeling, she quietly added, the girls in our class say I've wasted my pretty face. I've never kissed a boa or held hands before. They think I'm stupid and that I'll never get a chance to do those things. Her words made me pause. Yu's voice carried both curiosity and uncertainty. Some people, I said, just like to show off how experienced they are, as if it makes them better than others. You don't need to care about what they think. They're only trying to make themselves feel important. But my grandma always said, Yue responded firmly, a woman must hold her head high and never let herself be looked down on. Then, with an innocent gaze, she whispered, how can I kiss you? The words hit me like a freight train. Did I hear that right, Yue? The pure and obedient Yue asked me to kiss her. Her big, earnest eyes stared at me, waiting for an answer. My mind screamed at me to refuse. But how could I? If kissing me will make you feel better, I said gently, I don't mind. Her face lit up, though her hands were fidgeting nervously. Then I'll start now. Seeing her hesitating, I sighed and reached out, pulling her gently into my arms. Let me take the lead, and with that, I gave Yue a kiss she wouldn't forget anytime soon. Yue stayed frozen for a moment before shyly touching her lips, her face flushed. So, this is what kissing feels like. Her expression of pure awe made me chuckle. Yue, always so honest and adorable, really was one of a kind. The piano room's doorknob suddenly rattled, startling me out of my wits. Are we about to get caught red-handed? Just as I started panicking, Yue calmly reassured me. Don't worry. I already locked the door. Yue, you're a lifesaver, I said with relief. Outside, a long-haired female classmate jiggled the doorknob, frowning. Why is this door locked? It was open just yesterday. Her short-haired friend shrugged. People probably use this room to play games. Let's find somewhere else. I felt a surge of embarrassment. Are they talking about us? Yue didn't seem to care, but I let out an awkward laugh to break the tension. All right, Yue. Now you're officially experienced, I teased her. You don't have to worry about people looking down on you anymore. The ever so obedient Yue nodded softly, but the next moment, she grabbed my hand, looking serious. How? Am I sick? She asked, her voice innocent. When we were playing the game earlier, my heart was beating so fast. Her words made me freeze. Yue, how can you be this pure? I suddenly felt like a creepy, older guy leading a little lamb astray. I awkwardly pulled my hand back and explained, that's just dopamine. It's a chemical your body releases when you feel certain emotions, like excitement. Kind of like how Yuan feels when she watches her videos. Yue tilted her head, still looking confused. I wasn't sure if she understood or not. So, how? She said, after a pause. Can we play the kissing game more often? I really like that feeling. I nearly tripped over myself. Yue. No. Kissing is something only boyfriends and girlfriends do. I don't mind when it's me. But you absolutely cannot ask other guys this. Okay. She nodded obediently, and I finally let out a sigh of relief. Good. I'll teach you more about this stuff later. For now, let's just finish eating. That evening, Yue sat in her room, staring at her tablet with a frown. She was scrolling through the videos Yuan had sent her, debating whether to watch them. Finally, after much deliberation, Yue clicked on one. She watched quietly for a while but soon grew puzzled. How said these videos make people's hearts race, but mine's not doing anything. Why does it only happen when I kiss How? Did How lie to me? Confused and curious. Yue picked up her phone. How said I could ask him questions when I have a problem, so I can call him now, right? She hesitated for a moment, then tapped on How's number. Meanwhile, as I was about to take a shower, I noticed a call from Yue. Yue? What's wrong? It's late. Do you need something? Hearing her voice, I couldn't help but think about what happened earlier in the day. Man, things are getting weird between us. Yu's soft voice came through the phone. How? I just tried watching the videos Yuan sent me, but I didn't feel anything. My heart didn't race at all. Is something wrong with me? The mention of Yuan instantly made me groan. That troublemaker, she's practically a professional driver at this point, and now she's trying to turn Yue, an innocent little lamb, into a wolf. Seriously, but more than that, Yue asked her question so earnestly. She really had no clue how weird it sounded. Yue seemed to realize that too. How? If this is a weird question, I won't ask again. It's fine. I sigh, trying to reassure her. Just don't go asking other guys these things. Okay, I'll explain it to you later. For now, hold that thought. I need to take a shower. Hearing that, Yue piped up cheerfully. Oh, I want to take a shower too. How? Can we stay on the phone while we shower? We can talk the whole time. Her innocent request caught me completely off guard. Wait. What? Talk while showering? As I absent-mindedly lifted my shirt, I caught sight of my reflection and frowned. This world's standards for six-pack ABS are ridiculous. How have I still not made any progress? Yes, Yue replied innocently. We'll just talk. I like hearing your voice. Since she sounded so happy, I relented. Fine, But be careful with your phone. Don't get it wet, okay? Yue giggled happily, and I could hear her placing her phone somewhere high up. Got it, I'll be careful. Next thing I knew, she was narrating her entire show routine, step by step. How? I'm washing my hair now. I sigh. Yue, you don't have to tell me everything, but she either didn't hear me or didn't care because she kept right on narrating. With no choice, I started chatting about random topics to distract both of us from how strange this was. Meanwhile, Chin had quietly approached my bathroom door, has talking to someone. He even chats while showering. Could he have a girlfriend? She thought to herself, frowning. She threw some laundry into the washing machine and sighed. Maybe I should do something. If I don't take action, how might get snatched away? With that thought, Chin grabbed her phone and sent a message to Long, asking if I had a girlfriend at school. Long's answer came back quickly. Note, how still single. Relieved but still uneasy, Chin whispered to herself, if he's single, I need to make my move. Back in my room, I'd finished my show and ended my call with Yue after promising to send her some proper relationship information. Better that she learns from me than Yuan, I thought, but as I entered my bedroom, something caught my attention. The blanket on my bed was bulging. What the? Did a thief break in? Cautiously, I approached and yanked back the blanket only to find Chin curled up underneath. Chin, I nearly jumped out of my skin. What are you doing here? Did you go to the wrong room? Still half asleep, Chin sat up, rubbing her eyes. Nope. I was waiting for you so we could watch a movie together. I must have dozed off. I scratched my head awkwardly. Oh, okay. Just give me a minute, I need to look something up first. Chin tilted her head curiously, but I quickly turned away, grabbed my phone, and started frantically searching for relationship education articles. I can't believe I'm looking this up with Chin sitting right there. After hurriedly finding a few links to send Yue, I let out a sigh of relief. All right, I'm done. So, what movie are we watching? Chin smiled sweetly. I haven't decided yet. How about something scary? I feel like watching a horror movie. Sure. I agreed with a grin. I'll pick one. Chin stood up, stretching. I need to take another shower first. I got a little sweaty. You go wait for me in the living room, okay? Sitting in the living room, I started thinking, in my old world, watching a horror movie with a girl usually meant she'd get scared and cling to you. But in this weird, reversed world, would it be the other way around? Would I end up hiding in Kin's arms? The thought sent shivers down my spine. Nope, not happening. Still, as someone who's lived through two worlds, I didn't think anything could scare me. But what if this world forces those reversed rules onto me, like how guys here are naturally weaker? I shook my head. Whatever happens, I'll deal with it. Bring it on, reversed world. Just as I was lost in my thoughts, Chin came downstairs after her shower. How? Have you picked a movie yet? I glanced up and immediately froze. My voice came out stammering, why yeah, I picked one. Good grief, Kin's outfit was so casual to casual. How am I supposed to handle this? Noticing my flustered expression, Chin gave me a teasing smile. How? Why's your face red? Is it too hot in here? Desperate to escape this awkward moment, I quickly changed the subject. Chin, let's just start the movie. Okay. If a horror movie doesn't snap me out of this, I don't know what will. Chin is just too much. Chin, clearly amused, laughed softly. All right. Don't get too scared later. If you're afraid, you can always hide in my arms. The movie began, and we both sat engrossed in watching the ghost creep around on screen. But here's the thing. The scary ghost was a male ghost. Seriously, I didn't feel a shred of fear. This reversed world nonsense kills the mood entirely. Just when I was about to yawn, I suddenly heard a sharp scream from beside me. Before I knew it, Chin had launched herself toward me. Clinging tightly to my arm, I couldn't help but laugh. Chin, are you scared? Looking up at me with those white, helpless eyes, she murmured. How? Do you think I'm useless? I'm supposed to be your big sister, but I'm more scared than you. This is so embarrassing. Nah, seeing her like this was kind of cute. I quickly wrapped an arm around her shoulder to comfort her. Don't worry, Chin. There's nothing wrong with being scared. Girls are supposed to be afraid of these things, that's totally normal. Chin visibly relaxed at my words. Really? As long as you don't think less of me, That's all that matters. Her expression shifted slightly, her eyes narrowing into a sly smile. So, if I act scared, how gets all protective? This is working out even better than I thought. Feeling Chin leaning against my shoulder, my face suddenly grew warm. Why is my heart beating so fast? No. 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 I shook my head. How? Snap out of it. She's Chin, your sister. You can't be having these thoughts. Then I remembered my dad. That image sent a chill down my spine. If he found out, he definitely beat me to death. Chin tilted her head, looking at me curiously. How? What's wrong? I scratched my head awkwardly. Nothing. It's nothing. The movie eventually ended, and I stood up quickly. Chin, it's getting late. Let's call it a night and go rest. But then Chin grabbed my hand, smiling. All right, let's go upstairs together. I blinked. Wait, what? She seemed genuinely spooked, so I figured she didn't want to be alone. Finally, a moment where I could feel like the dependable man of the house. Taking her hand, I led her upstairs, my heart pounding like crazy. Calm down. How? You're just being a good little brother. That's it, nothing more, right? Scene transition. Chin in my bedroom. I opened the door to my room, ready to collapse and finally get some rest, but when I turned around, I noticed something strange. Chin wasn't moving. How? Chin, aren't you going back to your room? Chin fidgeted awkwardly, her voice soft. How? Can I sleep with you tonight? She must have been really scared. The movie, the shadows outside, it all got to her. Huh. But then I looked at her. Chin, standing there in an oversized shirt. Oh no. If she sleeps here, there's no way I'll get any rest tonight. Chin tilted her head, looking all vulnerable and pitiful. How? You don't mind, right? Mine. Of course, I mind. But what could I say? When a literal goddess like Chin asks you to share a bed, what man could say no? Soon enough, we were both in bed. Chin broke the silence. How? I'm not normally this scared. I just saw a shadow outside the window and I panicked. I laughed softly, patting her shoulder. It's okay, Chin. I don't care if you're brave or scared. You're my family. I'd never think any less of you. Moved by my words, Chin suddenly hugged me tightly. How? You're so good to me. Oh. I froze like a statue. I didn't dare move an inch. How do you even survive moments like this? The next morning, Chin was up and glowing with energy, stretching happily. That was the best sleep I've had in ages. Meanwhile, I was a lifeless husk, pale, weak, and practically a zombie. Chin noticed right away and rushed over. How? Are you okay? Are you sick? Let me see. I sigh, sitting up like I'd just returned from war. I'm fine. Chin, I just didn't sleep well. Was it the movie? Did it scare you that much? Chin asked, stroking my face sympathetically. No. No. I groaned, defeated. It's just, with you holding me all night, I couldn't sleep even if I wanted to. Chin thought for a moment, clearly misunderstanding. Don't worry. How? We won't watch scary movies anymore. I'll go make you some egg soup to help you recover. Egg soup? Yeah, I'm gonna need it. I didn't even do anything, and yet I feel completely drained. After Chin left the room, I checked my phone. Lon had sent me a message with a bunch of memes made from my photos. Baby's mad. Come cheer me up. I nearly smashed my phone. What the heck is this nonsense? Lon, you're dead. What kind of man sends out baby memes of his bro? Lon's next message made my blood pressure spike. Bro, your memes are going viral online. You're famous again. Famous for looking like a spoiled baby. Lon, you're getting a friendly lesson from me later, I muttered. After breakfast, I wandered into the living room where Chin was lounging on the sofa, looking stunning as always in her professional attire. Seriously, does she ever not look amazing? Are you heading to school? How? Chin asked with a warm smile. Be careful. Okay. Yet. Don't worry, I replied. But then I noticed she was busy on her tablet. What are you looking at, Chin? Chin hesitated, then turned the screen toward me. I'm chatting with some friends. They sent me some cute memes of you. I froze. Oh no. Wait, those are from Lon, right? Chin. Don't use those. Okay. They're embarrassing. Chin laughed, clearly enjoying my reaction. Don't worry. How? I won't use those memes. Your handsome face belongs to me alone. Wait. What did you just say? I asked, confused. Chin quickly shook her head, smiling innocently. Nothing, hurry up, how? Or you'll be late for school. What will you tell Dad then? I had just stepped onto campus when I noticed something was off. The female students were all whispering and giggling. Isn't that the guy from the meme? Oh my god, it's him in real life, damn you. Long, this guy's stupid memes made me famous again, and not in a good way. Before I could a familiar voice called out, how, that meme, is that really you? It's adorable, can you sign something for me? You're gonna be a superstar someday. Nope, nope, nope. I bolted for my life. The classroom showdown. As I burst into the classroom, I spotted the culprit. Lon, I yelled, pointing straight at him. Lon blinked, confused. Oh, how? You want me to make more memes? No problem, I've got so many photos. My face turned red with rage. I grabbed him by the collar. Delete them. All of them. You hear me? I growled. I'm a real man. Lon, no more of this cute baby nonsense, or I'll snap all your lipsticks in half. Just as I was about to teach him a real lesson, a soft voice interrupted. How? What's wrong? I turned to see Yue, standing there with her usual innocent expression. My anger instantly disappeared. Nothing. Yue. Just dealing with somebody's nonsense, I said, glaring at Lon. Then I noticed something. Wait, Yue. Did you cut your hair? Yue touched her bangs, smiling shyly. Yeah. You said they were too long, so I trimmed them. My heart melted. Too cute. Yue was seriously the definition of obedient angel. Then, Yue leaned in close to my ear, whispering, how? I found a secret hideout. Let's go there at lunch. If you're feeling down, it'll cheer you up. The secret hideout. Lunchtime came, and Yue led me to the old school building. It was quiet, secluded, and a little sketchy. Pretty nice, huh? Yue smiled. I was about to agree when whoops. We stumbled into a pair of lovebirds on a date. Before they noticed us, Yue and I ducked under a dusty old desk. Our faces were inches apart. Yue whispered, how? Why are we hiding? Shh. I covered her mouth in panic. They'll hear us. But then, something felt weird. Yue's lips were on my palm. Wait, was she licking my hand? Yue, stop that. Before I could finish, Yue blurted out, how? Let's try the couple thing too. I froze. Wait, what did you just say? Yue didn't answer. Instead, she lunged forward and kissed me. What just happened? In that moment, all my logical thoughts evaporated. Yue was cute. She was kind. And honestly, I didn't hate this. Maybe we could give this a try, I thought. And hey, if Yue and I started dating, maybe Chin would stop acting so weird around me. After what felt like an eternity, Yue finally pulled back. She gasped for air. Her cheeks flushed. I smirked. Yue, you need to control your breathing. You'll suffocate yourself at this rate. Yue wiped her lips, nodding seriously. Got it, I'll work on it. I blinked. How is she this straightforward? Let's get back to class, I stammered, standing up. Walking home, hand in hand with Yue, my mind was a total mess. Should I date Yue? Should I not? Images of Yue's smile, her innocent face, and her unexpected moves earlier flashed through my brain like a slideshow. Too hard, this question is impossible, I muttered to myself, looking like I was having a seizure. Behind me, Yue tilted her head, completely confused. How? Are you okay? Scene switch. The Wei Corporation drama. Meanwhile, at the towering headquarters of Fenghong Group, Da Sui sat on her plush leather couch, glaring at her secretary. You're telling me you didn't do anything to boost house photos online? She snapped. The secretary raised her hands defensively. Absolutely not, Boss Wei. He's not even under contract with us, but with that face, it's hard not to go viral. Remember last time? He was trending just because someone snapped a picture of him buying groceries. Boss Wei's expression softened just a bit. Humph, of course. He's exceptional. That's why I like him. He makes all those other men look like trash. But then her brows furrowed again. But I don't want his photos spreading online. It'll disrupt his life. Get the posts taken down. The secretary gasped. Boss Wei, it's too late. People have saved the photos. There's even middle school pics of him surfacing. We can delete posts. Bub. The secretary froze as Boss Wei shot her a death glare. I I'll handle it immediately, she stammered before fleeing. Left alone, Boss Wei leaned back, opening her phone to a folder of house photos. She scrolled through the comments beneath the pictures, her face darkening. Idiots, a bunch of filthy frogs dreaming of princesses, she muttered, furious. But then, her lips curled into a soft smile. At least the photos are old. That's not my how. Her eyes glinted with determination. I like this how, the unique one, the confident one, the real one. Her gaze fell on the pile of untouched documents on her desk. Arg, how? You're ruining me, she groaned. I can't think straight, I can't work, and now I'm obsessed with you. You really are my destined nemesis. Cut to me walking home after school. As I approached the house, I spotted a luxury car parked at the entrance. Another new car. Did Jin splurge again? But when the window rolled down, my heart sank. It's her, Boss Wei. I nearly shouted, what the hell are you doing here? Didn't we agree to never meet again? One pan stroke, it was over. Boss Wei looked a little flustered, her face turning slightly red. I wanted to let you go, she muttered. But I can't. I lost control. I raised an eyebrow. Lost control. You're a high-powered CEO with elite training. And this is what you're telling me. You can't control yourself. Boss Wei ignored my sarcasm. Your photos are everywhere now. And those women, they're saying disgusting things online. She suddenly grabbed my tie, pulling me close. My man isn't for them to fantasize about, she declared, her voice full of domineering authority. Ow. Boss Wei. I glanced nervously at the front door. If Chin saw this crazy woman in action, things would get a whole lot messier. Let's, take this conversation to the car, I suggested quickly, before you start attracting a crowd. Once I got into the car, I laid out my preferences. I like soft, cute girls, the kind who occasionally act spoiled and are really obedient. Not someone like you who takes whatever she wants by force. Boss Wei listened and burst into laughter. Ha. You actually like those weak, girly types? That's hilarious. She lit a cigarette, her sharp gaze locking onto me. Let me guess. In your so-called original world, women were like that, huh? All delicate and submissive. I froze for a moment. Damn it. How does she keep guessing so close? I quickly denied it. That's just your imagination. I've never admitted to any other world. All you need to know is that you're not my type. Boss Wei scoffed. Those pathetic little women don't even compare to me. I've got money, status, and power. You could have everything you want without lifting a finger. Just stay home, man, be my man. What's so bad about that? Her words were dangerously tempting. Honestly, it would be nice to skip 50 years of hard work. I coughed awkwardly to snap myself out of it. Ahem, Boss Wei. Don't get carried away. Listen, first crushes are intense. You think someone's the one, but it's just a phase. Go out, meet other guys, and you'll realize I'm nothing special. Boss Wei ignored me and suddenly pinched my face. You sure sound experienced. That's because you like someone else, don't you? It's Yue, isn't it? Boss Min's granddaughter. I slapped her hand away, annoyed. Leave Yue out of this. She's got nothing to do with it. Boss Wei's eyes widened in shock. Yue? You call her by her name. I felt like I was about to explode. It's just a name. Why are you so worked up? Fine. I'll give you a nickname too. Happy now, to my surprise. Boss Wei turned her head away, her face faintly red. I wouldn't mind that. I stared at her, speechless. Did she just blush? Seriously? Well, okay then. I straightened up. Done with this conversation. Look, we can just be friends or something. Just stop acting so crazy. Alright, I opened the car door to leave. Go home, eat dinner, and stop stalking me. I'm begging you. As I walked off, I could still feel her gaze on me. I hope she finally got the message. I can't deal with her showing up every day. Just as I reached the front door, a man suddenly approached me. Hey there, little brother, I'm a friend of Kin's. Could you do me a favor and give this gift to your sister? I froze for a second, staring at him. Why does this guy look so familiar? And then it hit me, he's the creep who sent Chin that off-the-shoulder photo. Without a second thought, I refused. So it was you, the exhibitionist. I glared at him. I know you've been sending Chin all kinds of disgusting photos. What makes you think I'd help you? I'm Kin's brother, and harassing her is the same as harassing me. If I find out you send her anything like that again, I'll call the cops. Now get lost." The guy's face turned purple with anger. "You brat. How dare you talk to me like that? Just wait. I'll make Chin fall for me, you'll see." I ignored his ranting and headed inside. As soon as I walked in, I saw Chin sitting in the living room. She waved a bag of KFC in her hand and smiled. "Mom and Dad aren't coming home tonight, and I didn't feel like cooking, so we're having fast food for dinner." I grinned. "Sounds good to me." We sat down and dug in. Honestly, junk food every once in a while isn't too bad. But the atmosphere, oh man, it was killing me. Kin's outfits were getting more stylish and more dangerous. As I caught a glimpse of her graceful movements with her left hand, I quickly shut my eyes. "Chin, come on, give me a break here." Suddenly, I heard her sigh. I turned to her immediately. "What's wrong, Chin? Something bothering you?" Chin pouted slightly. "It's because of you. How? You're just too popular. You're a little internet star now. When I went to get KFC, I saw a bunch of people looking at your photos. Honestly, I'm getting a little jealous." Her words stunned me. "Chin, I really don't care about being some internet celebrity. Stop teasing me." Chin smiled approvingly. "Good. Being an internet star isn't all it's cracked up to be. So many people these days are doing cheap, vulgar things to get famous, always showing off their arms and legs. You're not like that. If anyone's going to see you like that, it's going to be me." I nearly choked. What the heck did she just say? Seeing me cough, Chin quickly handed me a drink. "Relax, I'm just teasing you." She stared at me quietly for a moment before speaking again. "How? You were already really popular at school. Now that you're an internet sensation, even more people are going to be obsessed with you. You're going to have more admirers than ever. If I don't do something soon, it might be too late." Night fell quickly, and Chin came to my room. She knocked gently on the door. "How? Can I come in?" I nodded in response. Once inside, Chin took out her laptop. "Are you writing?" "How? I want to work here with you." "I hope I'm not disturbing you." I was about to say something when I got distracted by her outfit. Chin was like a chameleon, constantly changing styles. Today's look had a warm girl next door vibe, soft yet undeniably attractive. Chin was really full of surprises. I quickly cleared my throat. "No, Chin, you're not disturbing me at all." She smiled happily. "That's good. I really enjoy working with you. Even handling difficult tasks feels easier when I'm with you. Oh, by the way," she added, taking out an envelope, "I need you to keep something for me." "What's this?" I asked curiously. "It's my paycheck, 3,000 yuan for the day. I spend money way too easily, so I'm trusting you to hold on to it for me," Chin explained. Hearing that she made 3,000 yuan in just one day, I was stunned. This isn't fair at all. In my previous life, I worked so hard, but it was nothing compared to this. "Chin, you're making this much just by helping out at the hospital?" I asked in disbelief. Chin chuckled as she covered her mouth. "How? Your sister's not just a regular student. I assist surgeons, you know. Earning 3,000 yuan a day isn't that much." "Not that much." My jaw dropped. Seeing my shocked expression, Chin smiled even more proudly. "How? You should know how amazing your sister is. I'm not an ordinary medical student. I have a bit of a gift. Back then, I got into university with the highest scores in the country. I started doing research projects early with my professors, so I was able to begin clinical practice earlier than others." Chin gently patted my head. "I may not be a lead surgeon yet, but I'm considered a miracle talent in cardiac surgery. All the top hospitals are fighting to recruit me. You're looking at a medical prodigy here." "Wow, Chin, you're incredible," I said sincerely. "If I could make that much in the future, Dad wouldn't have to work overtime anymore." Chin was touched by my words and hugged me tightly. "How? You're so thoughtful. But Dad and John Auntie aren't working overtime. They've taken on a new project, so they'll be traveling for a while." I looked up in surprise. "They're both going on a trip? So, it'll just be the two of us here. This is basically living together, isn't it?" Later that evening, as Chin told me the news, I rushed to the bathroom. "Mom, Dad, please hurry back." I muttered to myself. I'm a young, healthy guy, and Kin's, well, she's Chin. How am I supposed to survive this? Suddenly, blood trickled out of my nose. "This is bad, very bad. When I stepped out of the bathroom, I froze. Chin had changed into yet another outfit this time, a comfortable-looking nightgown. Chin noticed me staring and smiled softly. How? Is something wrong? Does this look good? I quickly turned my gaze away. No, it's nothing. You always look good. Chin, let's just get back to work. I sat down at my computer, but I couldn't focus. My eyes kept wandering to Chin, who was sitting not far from me. No matter how long we'd lived together, I never seemed to get used to her presence. Chin turned around suddenly, catching me staring. She smiled and stretched. How? My shoulders are a little sore from sitting so long. Can you give me a massage? I nearly jumped. A massage? Sure, I guess. As I placed my hands on her shoulders and began to massage gently, Chin sighed contentedly. This feels so good. How? You'll have to do this for me more often. Okay. Sweat dripped down my forehead. My face was flushed, but I nodded silently. After a while, Chin turned her head slightly. How? Are you free this weekend? How about we go out and have some fun? Her words caught me off guard. Sure. I don't have any plans. What do you want to do? Chin's face lit up. Great, I'll plan something nice. After all, it's our first date together. Wait, what? Chin, this isn't a date. We're just hanging out. She didn't seem to hear me. I'll make sure it's a day to remember. How? I sighed as I looked at the clock. Chin, it's getting late. We should probably call it a night. Chin seemed a little disappointed. Time flies so quickly. All right, I'll head to bed now. Good night. How? Chin was absolutely delighted about tonight's events. Although things hadn't progressed further, this was already good enough. At least How no longer disliked her. She promised herself that she would never allow anything to come between them again. Once Chin left, I let out a long breath. Man, that was intense. Still, the thought of going out with Chin this weekend left me feeling a little excited. Just as I was about to relax, my phone suddenly rang. Seeing Boss Wei on the screen, I sighed in exasperation. Not again. I picked up the call. You're persistent, aren't you? Dig sis, if you can't find a man, I can introduce you to someone. No need. Boss Wei retorted. I hate men. Not just anyone can be my beaufriend. I just want you to keep me company and talk to me. Are you okay? I asked, frustrated. If you hate men, then why are you bothering me? Boss Wei ignored my question and continued talking. Ever since I turned 18, my life has been surrounded by pathetic, lovesick men. Men who wanted fame and power. Men who let my mother tow with them just for a chance to climb higher. I hated those weak, simpering men. But you, How? You're different from them. I'm sure now you're the one I like. Her voice softened. I've never been in love before, so I don't know how to chase someone. I don't know how to make you happy, but whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Even if it's the stars in the sky, I'll make it happen. Our Fenghan Group has been investing in rocket research for years now. If you want a star, I'll bring it down for you. I couldn't help but groan. Wow, you really are rich and powerful. Huh? What would I even do with a star? Then I paused and added, actually, I do have one wish. Stop bothering me every day. Not gonna happen, she said firmly. I've already tried that. Think of something else. Well, then I just want to go to sleep, I replied. You should get some rest too. Good night. Without waiting for her response, I hung up. Geez, Boss Wei must have spent her entire childhood studying books and having no fun. Honestly, that's kind of sad. I muttered to myself, I'll cut her some slack today. As I lay back, I quickly drifted into sleep. In my dream, I saw my younger self. Someone's voice echoed around me, asking, do you have a wife? And no, my child self stammered. Suddenly, a mischievous face appeared, grinning wickedly. Well, you do now, starting today. I'm your wife. You're not allowed to look at anyone else. The next morning, I arrived at school to find the entire place buzzing. Apparently, someone had taken my photos and turned them into a video that went viral online. People were calling me the once in 70,000 years handsome genius. Just as I arrived at school, I sent a message to Chin to let her know I'd safely reached my classroom. Lately, Kin's been acting strange, always checking if I made it to class and even offering to pick me up after school. While staring at my phone, Yue suddenly appeared behind me. Morning. Yue, I greeted her. Why are you late today too? I couldn't sleep, Yue replied. I kept thinking about our kiss yesterday. Hearing Yue say this out loud nearly gave me a heart attack. Stop, Yue, that's a secret, no one else can know about it. We can only talk about it when we're alone. But Yue, being Yue, did something even bolder. She reached out, brushed her fingertip against mine, and then held my finger. How? I want to kiss you right now, she said innocently. It's just us here, no one else around. I froze on the spot. This is the hallway. People could come out at any moment. I looked at Yu's hopeful eyes, sighed, and gently pulled my hand away. What happened yesterday was an accident, I said. A kiss is a really personal thing. We can't do that at school. Yue blinked at me, confused. Then can we go to my house after school? We can kiss there, right? Faced with Yu's single-minded persistence, I couldn't bear to outright reject her. Let's just get to class, I said, changing the subject. It's almost time for the lesson. Hearing that, Yu's shoulders visibly drooped. She looked so disappointed that I almost felt bad. Yue, you have no idea men in this world aren't like me. If we keep this up, I might not be able to control myself. Time quickly flew to lunchtime. I turned to Long and invited him to the store. But as soon as we stepped out of the classroom, I was stunned by what I saw. A crowd of overly excited female classmates had gathered, clutching photo albums. Sign my album, please, one girl begged. These are candid shots I took of you. The scene was so over the top, it felt like I'd become some celebrity heartthrob overnight. I stood there, completely baffled. What the heck is going on? Long grinned, clearly enjoying the chaos, and pulled out his phone. How? You're going viral. Someone made a video compilation of all your photos, and now you're a sensation online. Everyone's calling you the once in 70,000 years gorgeous guy. Hearing this, I nearly spat out blood. You've got to be kidding me. Before I could react further, I felt a hand slowly reaching toward me from behind. My face went pale. Who is touching me? I turned around, only to see a girl whose hand was being tightly gripped by Yue. Don't touch her like that, Yue said coldly. He doesn't like it. Keep your hands to yourself. The girl let out a painful yelp, and the surrounding crowd suddenly fell silent, clearly frightened. Did Hao bring a bodyguard to school or something? I quickly told Yue to let her go. It's fine. Just let her go. Okay. At that moment, a booming voice echoed down the hallway. What are you all doing here? Disperse at once. It was the dreaded dean. If you don't want to eat lunch, you can come to my office, he shouted. The students scattered like roaches in the light, vanishing instantly. The monsters here run. Meanwhile, the green-haired class monitor, Lin, had been watching the scene from a distance. Lin, one of his friends said, nudging him, I think I saw one of your fans in that crowd. Isn't she the one who always watches your live streams? Looks like she's switched teams and is fangirling over Hao now. Lin let out a cold snort. How shallow. Hao's got nothing but a pretty face. I bet he can't even play basketball. He's just a vase, a useless flower vase. I don't care. But as Lin spoke, he overheard two nearby girls chatting. Did you see those luxury cars parked outside the school gate? I think some rich heiress came to pick up her boyfriend. I bet they're here for Hao. He's so popular now. Lin's expression twisted as jealousy consumed him. His green-haired friend cautiously asked, Lin, are you okay? Clenching his fists, Lin gritted his teeth. Hao, he's just a kept pretty beau. I'm not jealous at all. As I walked toward the school gates, a row of luxury cars parked neatly outside caught my attention. In the middle of the lineup, a white Rolls-Royce stood out, and sitting inside, none other than Boss Wei, the infamous CEO of Fenghan Group. Not knowing what was happening, Lon, Yue, and I also saw the flashy display. Lon, of course, freaked out like he'd never seen luxury cars before. How? Look at those cars outside. That's some serious big shot energy right there, he shouted, his eyes practically sparkling. I gave him a helpless look. Can we just go already? If we don't hit the snack shop now, I'll end up surrounded by fans again. What the hell? How did I suddenly become some viral internet pretty beau? In my past life, I was the poster child for tough guys, and now I'm stuck being one of those fresh meat idols I used to hate. Just as I was lamenting my luck, my phone rang. It was a guy. Nope. It was Boss Wei. Big sis, it's class time. Can't this wait till after school? You don't have to keep tabs on me 24/7, I grumbled. Boss Wei's voice came through, as smug as ever. Come out, I'm taking you to lunch. It finally clicked, the car parade outside. That's her doing. Nope, not happening. I'm eating with my friends, no time for you. As if expecting this, she scoffed. Do you think I came unprepared? You're coming whether you like it or not. Suddenly, the Rolls-Royce door opened. Boss Wei stepped out, surrounded by her squad of bodyguards, and walked toward the gates. With a snap of her fingers, her team began unloading fancy lunch boxes. I knew you wouldn't come out, she said, flashing that evil CEO grin, so I brought lunch to you. What the hell? I froze on the spot. Are you serious right now? Was this really necessary? Yue tilted her head at me. How? Who are you talking to? Are you okay? I gotta deal with something. You guys go ahead to lunch without me. I smiled awkwardly, handing them off to Long before bolting toward the gate. Yu's smile faltered as she watched me run off. For some reason, she stayed quiet, lost in thought. At the school gate, I stopped behind the crowd and pulled out my phone. Move your circus to the side gate. I hissed into the phone. Stop causing a scene. If you don't, you'll never see me again. Unbothered. Boss Wei picked up the phone from one of her men and chuckled. You're kind of cute when you're flustered. Cute, my ass. I shot back. This stupid stunt. Not impressive. I swear. How did you even become CEO? Connections. You boys all like these grand gestures, don't you? She teased. No. Move your parade or I'm out. After a pause, she shrugged and waved her team off. Fine. I'll wait at the side gate. Low profile. Happy now, I met her outside the side gate, where she stood, oddly casual in a hat and sunglasses. Was this lunch really so important? I asked, exasperated. Absolutely, she replied, that smug smile never leaving her face. I don't fail when I set my mind to something. Fine, but we're doing this my way. A few minutes later, I led her to a small, rundown noodle shop that looked about ready to collapse. Boss Wei stopped in her tracks. Here, this fly-infested hole is where you're taking me. That's right, I'm a broke student. This is where I eat. You're free to go back if you can't handle it. Seeing her hesitation, I smirked to myself. Finally, I've outsmarted her. She'd back off now for sure, but instead, she stepped inside and pulled out her credit card. I'll take over the whole place. Shut it down for me. I nearly choked on my own spit. Hey. Hold it right there. What's wrong with you? Throwing money around like this, we poor folks eat here. All right, if you pull something like this, I'm walking. Boss Wei sighed like she was humoring a child. Fine. Men really are so stubborn. I turned to the shop owner. 1 beef noodle soup with an egg for me. Make it 2. She have the same. The shop lady scowled at Boss Wei, who was still inspecting the menu like it might bite her. You ordering, or what? If not, scram. Don't waste my time. Before I could say anything, Boss Wei threw a wad of cash onto the counter. Put on gloves and make sure it's clean. I want fresh ingredients. The shop lady's attitude did a 180. Yes, ma'am. Right away. Unbelievable. I rolled my eyes as she scurried off to the kitchen. Boss Wei, seriously, you're throwing money at a noodle shop now. She ignored me and pinched my cheek. Why are you staring at her? You should be looking at me. I swatted her hand away. You're jealous of a noodle shop lady now, are you serious? She took off her hat, her gaze softening just a bit. So you really eat this stuff all the time? Yeah. It's what I can afford, unlike you rich people. As the noodles arrived, I leaned back, arms crossed. You see my life now, I'm a broke student. You're a high and mighty CEO, we're worlds apart, and I have no interest in being some Cinderella story, so please stop chasing me. For once, Boss Wei didn't have a witty comeback. She just sat there, staring at her noodles, lost in thought. Just then, the chef who looked like she stepped straight out of a 5-star kitchen placed a steaming bowls of beef noodles in front of us. The presentation was so good that you'd think it came from some fancy restaurant. Boss Wei stared at the bowl and said, I can eat this. You know, back when I was in the military, I've eaten worse. I just don't want you eating food that's dirty and unhealthy. Her words made me pause. Wait, she's thinking about my health. When did she start being so considerate? It was unsettling. Fine. Whatever, I muttered and dug in. But halfway through my meal, she suddenly asked, by the way, why are you so good at kissing? Have you done it with someone else before? I choked, nearly spraying my food everywhere. What's wrong with you? We're eating. Is this really the time for that kind of question? I practice by watching TV. Okay. Bossway ignored my embarrassment. I'm warning you, if I find out you've been with someone else, I don't know what I might do. After lunch, Long dragged me to his house after school. The moment I walked in, he shoved a lipstick under my nose. How? What do you think of this color? I stared at him. Seriously, you called me here for this? Dude, I'm a man. I can't tell the difference between lipstick colors. Wait. Don't leave. Long pulled me back. I have something else to show you. It's about Ling Ling. What about her? I asked, confused. He didn't answer. Instead, he dragged me to his sister's room, where we found Ling Ling hunched over her desk, intensely focused on drawing something. Long burst into the room. Ling Ling, what are you drawing this time? Ling Ling jumped so hard she nearly fell out of her chair. Long snatched her sketch pen and handed it to me. I froze. It was a Comica fan-made story, featuring ... me. And it wasn't exactly kid-friendly. What the hell is this? I blurted, turning to Ling Ling. Where did you get this? She flailed her arms and stammered. It's not mine. A friend gave it to me. I raised an eyebrow. Really? That's the best excuse you've got? Ling Ling clutched her chest dramatically. How? I swear. I didn't even read it. Oh. I narrowed my eyes. Then how do you know what's in it? I opened her laptop and scrolled through her files. And what's this? Study materials. Huh, you've got 500 gigabytes of study materials filling up your hard drive. Ling Ling's jaw dropped. How did you find that? I hid it so well. You're a guy, how could you possibly know where to look? I coughed awkwardly. You're too young to fool me. Anyway, I'm confiscating all of this. New. Do you know how hard it was to find all that? Seeing her pitiful face, I sighed. Ling Ling, you're still a kid. You need to focus on your studies. Got it? I like my fangirls to be pure, cute, and smart. If you improve your grades, I'll grant you one wish. Teal. Ling Ling's eyes sparkled. Really? How? You mean it? Yeah, I promise. Would I lie to you? Yay. I'll do it, she cheered. Fists clenched. It's a little embarrassing to be called cute and pure, but if it'll help me win house favor, I'll do whatever it takes. I froze. Great. I think I just made things worse. Just then, my phone rang. It was Chin, calling to see if I needed her to pick me up after work. I reassured her. Don't worry, Chin, I'll head back home on my own later. After giving me a few reminders, Chin hung up. Beside her, her friend who had teased, who was that handsome guy you were talking to? Hey, Chin, wanna hit up the bar this weekend? Lots of cute guys there. Chin turned her down instantly. No need. I already have my handsome guy. We're meeting at Wandy Plaza this Saturday. Huey's jaw dropped. Wait. What? Seriously? You're holding out on me. Who is it? Tell me. Chin just smiled mysteriously. It's too early to say. I'll tell you when there's something official. Huey pouted and then handed Chin something wrapped up. Here. This is for you. You're welcome. Chin took one look at it and blushed instantly. Make sure to use it. Huey added with a wink. Be safe, okay. Unbeknownst to them, Kin's persistent admirer, the creepy stalker, was eavesdropping from just outside the door. Hearing their conversation about a private date and being safe, his face twisted with rage. Why? Chin, why can't you see me? Wandy Plaza, huh? Fine. I'll make sure your date is unforgettable.